Delivery from Strecker, and he gets Marco swinging as the legend walks off the field one last time in the regular season.
0-1 pitch. It's driven deep to right field, and you can forget about that one. Tyler Duncan lights up the sky again. It's a solo blast.
Friday Night Baseball is back, and it's back with playoff time from legendary Bernie Arbor Stadium in Hamilton. It's the Hamilton Cardinals hosting the Barrie Baycats in Game 2 of what has already been an extremely exciting series. It's Reed Duthie alongside Neil Srivastawa up top. Our hello to our fans watching along both on Cable 14 in Hamilton and Rogers TV in Barrie. And Neil, we have got a great series to take Game 2 for. 9-8 last night in Game 1, a seesaw battle that went back and forth. It was anybody's game right up to the end.
No question it was. And of course, the Hamilton Cardinals did the hard work last night. The heavy lifting got Frank Garces out of the ball game pretty early, but unfortunately, they have nothing to show for it.
And for the Cardinals, they did some damage in that ball game, and you can see that some of the big hitters certainly turned up for them in Game 1. Alex Lanigan, brilliant for a couple of innings. Colby Ring, 6 strikeouts over 5 innings. The run numbers a little bit inflated by the time he came out, but things were rolling their way. You can just never count out this heavy-hitting Barrie Baycats lineup.
Well, of course, Josh Matlow saying before the ball game, hey, if your team can make 6 errors, but somehow you still won the ball game, something's going right with the bats. That's for sure.
And that was really the weird part of the line for Frank Garces last night, the stud from the regular season who blew everybody away. 5 runs against in his outing, but only one of those runs was earned.
Oh, exactly. Unearned runs will be your friend if you're a pitcher's stat line anyways, but it's just still you don't want to give those runs up. You don't want to give a team like the Cardinals that many opportunities on the base paths either.
And now for these two squads, Neil, they're each running a little bit short in terms of numbers for pitchers. We'll see Corbin Peters, who down the stretch was deployed as really the 8th inning guy or the closer if Stefan Strecker was unavailable. He'll be going for the Cardinals against Juan Benitez for the Barrie Baycats, and Barrie is really short in the bullpen.
They definitely are. Of course, Corbin Peters coming into action. He's got a 1-0 record against the Baycats this year, a 2.08 ERA versus the Barrie Baycats this season, a 1-0 record, 9 strikeouts in the 4 1/3 innings pitched, so that's a good sign. If you're a Cardinals fan, maybe you can go out there and throw some zeros, keep Adam Odd and Ryan Rios and company off the base paths.
That will be the key for the Cardinals. They're going to have to limit the runners around Corbin Peters. They're going to have to limit the defensive errors as well. If they do those two things, they've got a good chance here tonight, Neil. It's really been the big inning that has been the nemesis of the Hamilton Cardinals. If they can avoid that, they've got a chance to win this ball game and tie this series.
No question they do. Of course, the starting lineup's being popped out as well here.
And not a whole lot of surprises. Nicholson, Cotton, Duncan, Bernardo, Rempel, DeBanning, they'll all have the bats in their hands tonight. It is a very dangerous and you might be able to say underrated Cardinals lineup when it comes to being able to get guys on base. It's been hitting with runners in scoring position the last couple of weeks that they need a little bit of boost in some key situations.
Exactly. The guys have just got to cut the strikeouts down, be a little less aggressive at the plate, especially when Benitez walks a lot of batters here.
We saw that a week ago on Friday night against the Brantford Red Sox, and the further they got into that game and the more pitches the hitters took and the more comfortable they got at the plate, the more uncomfortable it was for the Red Sox pitching staff, and the Cardinals had the comeback win on that night. And if they can do the same thing against the Baycats, one of the keys for the Cardinals will be to force the Baycats into the bullpen early.
Well, exactly. Benitez, as we mentioned, 29 strikeouts, 20 walks this season, 4-3 record. He had 6 starts, a 3.91 ERA, so he's their second man on the hill here.
As we will send things down to field level to pick up the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Emma with another beautiful rendition of Oh Canada. She has been outstanding, getting us kicked off down the stretch this season. And speaking of down the stretch, Neil Corbin Peters, we talked about him off the top. He has been fantastic out of the bullpen. At the end of this season, when some things weren't going right for the Cardinals, Corbin Peters is definitely someone that has been on the right track. He settled that control down, and he can be overwhelming.
Of course, he's 2-2 on the season, a 4.50 ERA, 44 strikeouts, just 13 walks. Just 13. As he gets the start tonight, and hopefully he can get the Cardinals back on the track here. Back into this series, they're trailing 1-0.
Let's take a look at the defense that you'll see behind Corbin Peters in the ball game tonight, and we'll begin in the outfield as you'll see Brendan Nicholson, who had been playing a lot of shortstop for the Cardinals. He moves back out to left field. Quinn Cotton in center. Tyler Duncan, you're not going to get him out of right field with the jaws of life at this point.
No, you're not.
Through the infield, going first to third, Tanner Rempel, Lane Renault, Brendan Daly. The junior will get the go again tonight, and Jacob Underwood over at third. And then Corbin Peters on the hill with Luis Bernardo guiding things from behind the plate.
Of course, that's really important things. Hopefully Bernardo and Peters are on the same page from the get-go here, and then here we go.
Let's take a look at what they will face tonight, and especially the top of this order, Neil, so dangerous for the Barrie Baycats.
Of course, if they can shut this down, Adam Ott is definitely the one we have to watch. He's batting .800 in the postseason right now, so definitely have some good numbers across there. Scored 4 runs last night. Starlin Rodriguez, Ryan Reho, of course, probably the Baycats MVP candidate. Then Royce Ando, Hayden Jayco, Carson Burns, Avery Tuck, and Kyle Mavis will get the start behind the plate and catching Juan Benitez.
And as we get going tonight, big thanks to Ben and Patrick in Barrie and that entire crew that took you through Game 1. Neil, you and I get the chance to take the baton for Game 2 before we hand it back to them for Game 3.
Yep, and we want it back for Game 4, just saying right now, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Come on, at least let's bring it back here to Bernie Arbor Stadium. We should all get 2-2, I think is the way it should go.
That's a fair deal.
Right?
That's a fair deal.
That's what I would think. That crew in Barrie, though, last night did a great job, Neil. It was really fun to watch their coverage of Game 1. We'll try to live up to a lofty goal that they have set for us.
They definitely set the bar high every year.
Stepping up to the plate, the center fielder, number 9, Kenise Ejo.
Kenise Ejo will be the first man to face Corbin Peters. And as the sun starts to tuck away from us a little bit, I can take the sunglasses off.
Yeah, it was nice to see the sun pop through. There was actually cloud coverage for a while, and then all of a sudden it all cleared away, and the sun popped out, and white clouds for a change for the first time in days, it felt like.
It was raining this morning, and I thought, oh, please, no, don't do that to us tonight. And Corbin Peters starts off with a strike to open up Game 2 after 2 of 3 playoff games were suspended last night.
Well, 3 of 4, actually, yeah. So it was like, yeah. You got Welland and Brantford that got suspended, and I believe they were in the 8th inning. Kitchener and London were in the top of the 4th inning. Majors were winning that one 3-1.
Yeah, don't look now, but here come the Majors again.
Yep. And Toronto was losing to the Guelph Royals in the bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0.
That's right, I forgot about that game as well as Corbin Peters. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
I think he's dialed in.
He looks motivated.
This is the Corbin Peters I got to see last year firsthand when he took on the Guelph Royals in that first postseason series, and he was just absolutely dominant.
Here is the matchup that we will be keeping our eyes on all night. Corbin Peters and Adam Odd. This is going to be fun.
Adam Odd, 6 home runs, 20 something RBIs. He hits this first pitch into center field pretty deep, but it's going to be there and caught by Quinn Cotton easily for out number 2.
So with 4 pitches thrown, Corbin Peters has 2 away.
F8 goes to put out of Adam Odd, who jumps on the first pitch, and Starling Rodriguez will be the batter now.
Stepping up to the plate, left fielder, number 4, Starling Rodriguez.
When Corbin Peters has the command of the fastball on, it is an overpowering pitch.
It definitely is. It definitely tops in. I would say 94, 95. Probably that's where it lives at. When it's off a little bit, it's 92, 93, but it dances off to the side and gets him in a little trouble when he can't keep it under control.
And he'll fire in for a ball as Underwood and Rempel both kind of tease in a little bit.
Not sure if Rodriguez was trying to call time there or he was just wasn't quite ready in the box.
And now he'll tee one, and that's going to be into center field. Cotton charging hard, and Rodriguez able to bloop one in for the single.
Just got enough of it to get it into the outfield here, and there's one on, and 2 away. Sorry.
Stepping up to the plate.
And when you have a runner on, and this man comes up to the plate, everybody in the stadium backs up a bit.
Ryan Rios only hitting .318 against the Hamilton Cardinals in the regular season. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs.
When you have
a moonshot that I still don't think they ever got out of the bushes out in right field.
When you have to say only at .318.
Yeah, only. Of course, I was talking to him before the ball game as well,
And Rio tees this one into right field. Duncan tracking back underneath it. Rio didn't get all that ball, and he still almost pushed it to the warning track. But Tyler Duncan will have it away. That's 3 away. Corbin Peters navigates through inning number 1. The Cardinals will have the bats in their hands when we return to Game 2. Hamilton Cardinals IBL Baseball on Cable 14 and Rogers TV. Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball here on Cable 14 and Rogers TV. The Hamilton Cardinals will have their first chances with the bats in Game 2 as we take a look at Juan Benitez for the Baycats.
Juan Benitez, a 4-3 record, a 3.91 ERA, 43 and a 2/3 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, 20 walks. So if the Cardinals are patient at the plate, they might get some good things happening here. If they can get a walk and get some base runners here. Of course, Brendan Nicholson, who struck out 4 times last night, would love to get on base and get this offense going.
This is the moment that Brandon Nicholson wants. He wants to be on early and often here in Game 2 and just create all kinds of trouble for this Barrie Baycats side with his presence on the base path. Amongst the elite when it comes to foot speed and being able to get himself into advantageous positions. And the first pitch he sees is ball 1. And Nicholson will tee that one back into the mesh. We'll take a look at the Barrie Baycats defense and the Cardinals batting order momentarily as Benitez will wind and fire, and that one low for ball 2.
Chris Walters, the home plate umpire. Chris Long is at first base, and Nick Leffler is at third base.
The 2-1 will get out of the glove of Maves, and it's 3-1. And that would be an ideal start for Nicholson if he can find a way on any way possible.
Oh, exactly. A walk's as good as a hit to start the ball game here, and Cardinals need lots of base runners.
Benitez delivers, and Nicholson swings through. Full count. Boy, Benitez certainly tantalized the eyes of the Cardinals left fielder. Benitez delivers, and that one low. And Nicholson will trot his way down to first base. Here comes Quinn Cotton as we take a look at the batting order for the Cardinals.
Brandon Nicholson, who just walked down to first base. Quinn Cotton batting second in center field. Tyler Duncan in the 3 spot. In right field, Luis Bernardo batting 4th. Dennis DeBanning, the DH tonight, batting 5th. Tanner Rempel is 6th. Jacob Underwood is 7th at third base. Lane Monroe is at second base, batting 8th. And Brendan Daly, the shortstop, the junior call-up from the junior Hamilton Junior Cardinals, is your shortstop tonight.
After Quinn Cotton, we'll take a look at the defense for the Barrie Baycats. As Nicholson over at first base having a bit of a discussion with Hayden Jaco. And Nicholson threatening as if he's going to take off as Cotton sees strike 1.
Nicholson definitely taking off with a good secondary once again. Had the defense move behind him there too. They throw over, and he's back safely.
Nice move there to first by the righty Benitez. After last Friday night, Benitez's delivery is almost normal.
Exactly. Well, the Chameleon is thankfully not pitching tonight against us. Had a great conversation with him this week too.
Nicholson taking off for second, and he would have been in safe, but Cotton chops foul 0-2.
And I asked him, I was like, well, how many deliveries do you have? And he says, I don't know, it just happens. And I'm like, well, who are you channeling out there?
There was a lot happening.
There was. I could see why Luis Bernardo was having fits at the plate.
So we get a look at Nicholson trying to skip his way over to second. We saw the Nomo, we saw the El Duque, we saw the fast move to the plate, we saw a combination of all of it.
Yep.
So you said when you put it on Twitter, Neil, as the Chameleon, I said 27 different deliveries, yep. I think.
Not quite Baskin-Robbins, but close enough.
Jeez. Was a lot of fun to watch, though.
It was, though.
The delivery in, and Cotton will send this one out foul in right field, and that'll be a souvenir.
A lot of young kids here in the attendance. Definitely going to go home with a lot of souvenirs today if this keeps up.
Tons of kids in. Again, another packed grandstand down left field side, packing in over to right. Fans, especially for the Baycats coming in. It's really great to see what has been a rebirth of baseball in Hamilton throughout this season as Kyle Maves takes that foul back off the mask.
Chris Walters will go and give the ball to Benitez.
Oh!
Maves a few more extra seconds to collect his slots and just make sure all the chiclets are still intact. His
thoughts rolled out his left ear, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. Catchers and goaltenders, different breed.
Definitely need to be an IBL spokesman.
Tougher than a $2 steak. Maves is still hearing a phone, only audible to him as Nicholson. Whoa, he had to be careful that time as Benitez has a quick move to first.
Nicholson almost got caught leaning a little too far to second base there, and Benitez almost capitalized.
If Nicholson wasn't as experienced at swiping bags as he is, that would have been a problem. Benitez brings it home, and that'll be ball one. As he takes a long look over at Brandon Nicholson, and this is what Nicholson wants, Neil. He wants to be in the head of Juan
exactly.
Benitez.
He wants to be on the head of him that way because he can't focus on Quinn Cotton then.
As Benitez again checks over, Nicholson was much closer that time, and now hearing a bit of a Bronx cheer from the Hamilton fans.
A lot of the Hamilton fans going, why don't we have that two disengagement rule in the IBL yet? Well, maybe next year. We'll see.
I've heard things about a pitch clock.
That's something else you have to train and some more added expenses.
As Quinn Cotton sends this one over to second base, on to second for one, back to Jaco, and it's 2 away. As it'll be a 4-6-3 double play, Ando to Burns to Jaco to get 2 as we take a look at the defensive lineup for the Barrie Baycats. It'll begin in the outfield as Avery Tuck, Kenise Ejo, and Starlin Rodriguez take care of it right to left. And in the infield, Hayden Jaco, Royce Ando, Carson Burns, and Adam Odd first to third. Juan Benitez throwing to Kyle Maves tonight.
Kyle Maves gets the call behind the plate. Hayden Jaco was behind there last night. Adam Odd moved over to third base tonight.
And Duncan back to the mound, and Benitez says, hey, look what I found. Quick flip over to Jaco, and Benitez, after giving up the initial walk to Nicholson, is out of the trouble, Neil.
He got out of the jam quickly there as Duncan hit the first pitch he saw from Benitez, looking fastball on the at-bat, got a fastball up high, and then tried to drive it up the middle, but Benitez being so tall on that hill, just they reached up and gloved that one and easily put a 1-3 for the inning ender.
Neil and I will be right back with you on Rogers TV in Barrie, Cable 14 in Hamilton with more of Game 2 after this. Welcome back. Game 2 of this first round IBL series between the Barrie Baycats and the Hamilton Cardinals. No score as we begin the second inning of play. Corbin Peters back to work, and he will start off facing Royce Ando.
Royce Ando followed by Hayden Jaco, and Carson Burns will be his opponents at the plate this inning. And
of course, as the night goes along throughout the game, you will see she's essentially our pseudo third person on the broadcast is Emily Thompson.
Yep.
Running around the stands, and we're coming close to the Swiss Chalet Kids Run the Bases segment, which, well, judging by what we can see from here, Neil, it's
going to be a packed house.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while. Of course, Troy's not with us this evening. Of course, his daughter is getting married this weekend, so congratulations to Troy and his daughter on the nuptials.
This is the second of Troy's 2 daughters to get married in the last 3 weeks.
Ouch. There goes the wallet. There goes the wallet. Yeah.
Congratulations, partner.
Yeah. We'll start you a Kickstarter tomorrow.
Oh, we've been giving Troy trouble about that for months now.
Well, that's the same sort of thing happened with my brother and I. So we both got married the same. I guess he got married in July. I got married in September. So yeah, I guess that kind of happens too.
That's not quite as tight, but yeah.
It's still.
Although I understand the first ceremony went off without a hitch and it was beautiful, and I expect nothing less for the second. As Corbin Peters delivers that one in low, 2-1 to Ando. Congrats to Kaylin and Ashley if they see this on the replay. I know they're a little busy today. As that ball up high, 3-1 the count.
Twitter games and Inter-County playoff action tonight as well. The Barrie Baycats and Cardinals are here. Of course, the Panthers and Majors are down in London. And the Welland Jackfish and Brantford Red Sox will getting underway probably about 8:20 or so in the Telephone City.
Sun has to set.
Yes, it does.
That's still one of the funnier things around the IBL.
I still don't understand that ballpark. I just don't understand it. How do you plan that?
Well, Everyone Stadium used to be the same way.
Yeah.
As Corbin Peters delivers and gets Ando swinging, one away.
Great battle there by Peters to come back into that count.
Yeah, found himself 3-1 behind.
Hayden Jaco now will be the batter.
Up to the plate, first baseman, number 55, Hayden Jaco.
Of course, Hayden Jaco was a Rookie of the Year in 2021 with the London Majors. He hit .379 that season, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs for the Brian Carter Memorial Trophy winner. Baycats with a couple of former Rookie of the Years in the lineup. Well, and of course, Adam Ott at third base now.
Yeah, Baycats have to be so happy that they've been able to get both Odd and Jaco into this lineup. There's a couple of building blocks.
There is indeed.
As Peters starts the at-bat out with a ball. Takes a second to deliver, and Jaco flares this one. It's into right center. Duncan on his horse. Lays out. Oh, what a catch!
Tyler Duncan goes flat out and makes that catch. F9 with a huge asterisk beside it. Hayden Jaco is retired for the second out in the second inning here.
A man that size should not be able to move like that. Tyler Duncan, outstanding.
Of course, his mom came up to say hi to us last week when she was up here from BC as well. So
absolutely lovely.
Yeah, that was so nice of her. So nice to meet some of the parents of the guys here as well. It's just great to see they still travel around with their kids even when they get older.
Well, considering my parents have come to watch me play beer league hockey at times, I think you can graduate past junior sports, but you can never quite take the junior sport parent out of your parent.
No, you can't. As long as they're not yelling at the glass at the referee during a beer league game, I think you're okay.
No, my dad just laughs at me now when I turn the puck over.
We taught you so well.
Why did you put that up the middle? I don't know.
I thought like it was a good idea at the time. Come on.
That was always my excuse. Well, it looked good at the time. I didn't see that guy. How'd you not see him? He was standing right in front of you. As Burns will sky this one into foul territory, way out behind us. Corbin Peters, you got to believe, Neil, the Cardinals are going to be very happy if he can continue along the way he has started tonight.
Oh, exactly. The longer he can go and as long as he can keep this quality of a start out here, as that one's called for a strike to even the count at 2-2.
Beautiful placement there by Peters. Just on the inside portion of the plate. Peters maybe with Bernardo setting up to the outside. Ball ran in, but it's going to be right to Tyler Duncan. That one not as dramatic, but Duncan will square it away. And the Cardinals will have the bats back in their hands when we return to Game 2. You're watching on Rogers TV in Barrie, Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome back to Game 2 here on Cable 14 and Rogers TV, awaiting the first runs to hit the board as the Cardinals will send Luis Bernardo as the first man up against Juan Benitez in the bottom of 2 as we take a look at some of the handiwork of the Dominican catcher for the Cardinals. And Neil, he has been fantastic this season.
He definitely has been an absolute great addition to this Cardinals team and definitely solidified a very young pitching staff through some very troubled times and difficult times, and some other highlights as well. Of course, he's not a stranger to go out there with the bat as well, and can also throw the ball when he needs to on the mound.
That was the one that surprised me a little bit, that they've been able to employ him as a relief pitcher on a couple of occasions, and he's been downright good.
He definitely has been.
As Benitez will open the at-bat, getting Bernardo to swing as that pitch just completely fell off the table. The movement on that, Neil, was something else.
It was definitely dancing.
Benitez on the 0-1, and this time comes up high as he is working all over the strike zone, and Luis Bernardo wants to take a second, and I don't blame him.
Looks like the Baycats have figured out how to keep Bernardo's bat off his shoulder here. Change his eye level, change the location a couple times on back-to-back pitches.
The first pitch started out middle and just dove off, and the second one had to look like it just kept rising. That time Bernardo squared round to it, but it's going to come down into center field, and Kenise Ijo has it for one away.
Bernardo's retired F8 on the putouts if you're scoring at home, and Dennis DeBanning will be the batter now.
We're scoring a Red Sox game at home earlier this season just for practice, and that was the night they had the ridiculous double play.
Oh, yeah.
I gave up.
Uh-huh.
There was a review. As Benitez will look into Dennis DeBanning, who sends this ball high into left field. It'll come down quickly, but not quickly enough as Starlin Rodriguez gets under it for two away.
Dennis DeBanning retired F7 on the putout. So the ball just hung up in the air a little too long, and Starlin Rodriguez was able to camp underneath that one. And Tanner Rempel will be the batter now.
Tanner Rempel. Rempel at first base tonight for the Cards. We've seen him catch. We've seen him DH. We've seen him do a little bit of everything. As Benitez delivers, and that's 0-1. Being told that Ticats great Andy Fantuz is going to join us, Neil, in the bottom of 3.
That's exciting.
How about that for a guest star?
Rempel almost wore that one inside here.
We're actually going to get him a little earlier than we thought, middle of 3. As Benitez delivers, and that one low and away. That'll run to a 2-1 count. Tanner Rempel might be one of the nicest guys in the IBL. Have you had a chance to meet him and talk to him?
I just overall just on the microphone when he was up here, but that was it. Yeah.
He stopped Troy and I in the parking lot after last Friday night, and we had probably a 15-minute conversation.
That's awesome.
As Benitez delivers, and Rempel's going to flare this into right, but it's not going to have enough to get down as Avery Tuck there to erase it. F8, F7, F9 in the inning. And Neil, the Baycats defense getting the job done.
They're definitely getting the job done, trying to atone for the 6 errors last night. To this point, they've been stellar.
We'll be back with the top of 3. Avery Tuck will lead it for the Baycats. You're watching Game 2 of this first-round IBL playoff series on Rogers TV in Barrie and Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome back to Game 2 in this first-round playoff series. The Barrie Baycats against the Hamilton Cardinals. Corbin Peters back to the hill, and Neil, he has been excellent to open up this ball game. Strikeouts in each of the first 2 innings, just the 1 hit against thus far.
Yep, he's been very tidy in those 2 innings. Just 20 pitches needed, 13 strikes, 7 balls so far. Pair of strikeouts, but he's definitely keeping the Baycats at bay so far. And the Cardinals hoping this continues here in the 3rd inning.
Avery Tuck and Kyle Maves will come up here in the top of 3 before the lineup will turn over to Kenise Ijo, and Adam Odd would be the man on deck if anybody were to get on base in this 3rd inning. And that's always dangerous, Neil, when you get back to the top of this Barrie lineup and you know you got to navigate Ijo, Odd, Rodriguez, Rio. No thanks.
Definitely not an easy part of the lineup, that's for sure.
Peters did it well in that 1st inning. And again, that fastball has been on point for Peters. It was really the turning point in his season when that control came back to him like he had it in the playoffs a year ago. It has become a different season for Peters. It's just a little bit fun to see him in the starting role tonight, Neil, when we've seen him excel as that 8th or 9th inning guy, depending on the availability of Stefan Strecker on any given night, and he's been dominant in that role.
He definitely has been.
As Avery Tuck will step in. Tuck hitting .333. He was 1 for 3 to open up the playoffs. And Bernardo scoops that one out of the dirt.
Tried to sell it a little bit for a strike, but unfortunately you got to hold on to that baseball or they're not going to. It's hard for Chris Walters to give you that pitch.
Luis Bernardo's got to be one of the best catchers in the league at keeping the ball in front of him. Now, I know for a fact he's never played goaltender.
No, it's kind of hard. I can't see them having too many ice rinks in the Dominican Republic.
Maybe inline hockey. Maybe.
Maybe.
But I think he'd be pretty good at it. As Peters delivers, and Bernardo tried to buy him that one, and he couldn't get it back to the outside corner in time. Tuck cuts an imposing presence in the batter's box. And Peters says, I'll see your imposing presence, and put that one right down the gut, 3-1.
Tuck was taking all the way by the looks of things. Peters just trying to throw some strikes here.
And that one off the outside portion of the plate, and that will be the first walk issued by Peters in the ball game. And that will bring up the catcher.
Kyle Maves.
Kyle Maves uses the pinch runner last night. Got a run scored in that 8th inning. Took over for Ryan Rijos.
Yeah, that was the fun thing that we were talking about before the game, and that Adam Odd, he's so useful around the diamond for the Baycats because he can play in so many different positions. It just depends on who's catching, it seems.
Yep.
As Maves tries to drop the bunt and ended up bunting it foul. 0-1.
Corbin Peters just looking for a ground ball in this situation. The infield corners are in. Prevent the bunt. Up the middle or at the double play depth, they're trying to turn the ball if it should be hit at him.
He'd love to see this ball on the ground towards Lane Renault to turn that quick double. Lane Renault, who's really found a home at second base for this Cardinals team. We got so used to seeing him at third base, we were both surprised when we saw him move over the diamond to second, and pretty quickly it was, oh yeah.
I guess he can play second base. Who knew?
Kenny Everett, we've seen him make some show-stopping defensive plays.
Runner goes on the pitch there, too.
Yeah, Tuck was on the fly. And Maves ended up fouling it back. It stays 0-2.
Definitely was a hit and run on in that situation.
Maves maybe a little bit late on it. Split second earlier, Neil, and it would have been really nice execution because Tuck would have had second. As Peters delivers and change the eye level a little bit, but that one will run high. Suppose in that situation, if you're Corbin Peters, if you're going to waste one and try to get him to chase, bring it a little high with some heat, not a bad idea.
Exactly. Runner goes again.
Oh, and a bit of a pitch out to Bernardo. What a play! Corbin Peters put that right on the money for Luis Bernardo, who sends it into second base. Tuck had no chance.
Tuck was out by a few feet there as Bernardo and Peters worked the pitch out, anticipating the hit and run call again by the Baycats. Now we got one away and a 2-2 count. 2-6 goes caught stealing for Avery Tuck.
That's Brendan Daly, the junior, out there making the tag as Peters wanted the off speed on the outside portion. Doesn't get it. 3-2.
Now Peters is going to have to battle here and just put his emotions aside here and not let the emotions get the best of him here.
Peters delivers. Maves chops it, and that one will run into foul territory as this battle continues. So this at bat started 0-2. Peters ended up using one of the 3 balls to Maves to deliver the pitch out to get the out at second. And
Peters just not liking the seams on a couple of these baseballs.
you can be on the phone to Rawlings in between innings?
Yep. He just FedEx airdrop me some new baseballs.
Delivery from Peters. Gets Maves swinging 2 away. And Bernardo.
Peters had to thought there was 3 out there.
Bernardo had to flash the 2.
There's only 2 away here. He's still got some work to do this inning.
Well, you think he's charged up to be pitching in the playoffs or what?
He is.
The center fielder, number 9, Kenny.
Take another look at it from the backside. Bernardo delivers, that's earlier on for Kenise Ijo. And when we get a chance, we'll look back as we take a look at the strikeout to Ijo. As Peters delivers, and that one fouled. That might land in a different area code.
That might just do so. Some kids are going to go hunting in the woods here for some souvenirs very soon.
I'm not sure you're going to find that one. That was teed up foul way back behind us. And there's a whole section of trees.
Hopefully it's not going to wind up in somebody's parking lot, car somewhere out there. As long as it doesn't go over to the left field, we're okay. I'm not sure where Jenny parked, but when we got here, the parking lot was already half full.
Oh, I parked way away. I'm way down the side. I'm taking no chances.
Wise man.
I've had a couple when I've parked a little bit closer that have been too close for comfort.
Yep. We try to park usually by the tennis court behind us here, so
Yep, yeah, that's a good way to do it.
it's going to have to go over a couple of fences before it gets to our car.
Smart thinking. 0-2, and that one off the outside.
Just strolled a little too far out. Ijo held up there, and Bernardo tried to keep that one in the strike zone, but to no avail.
Ijo sends a jolt into this one into left field. Brendan Nicholson is there, and that will do it for the top of 3. F7 goes the put out on Kenise Ijo, and now this is a real pleasure because as we stay here at the middle of 3, we're joined by Ticats great, CFL great. He won a Heck Crichton, he won a Grey Cup, 8,300 plus receiving yards in his career. Andy Fantuz, thanks so much for being here and welcome in.
Hey, thanks, Reed and Neil. I appreciate you having me. It's a lot of fun being out to the Cardinals game tonight and got a chance to pitch the first pitch, and that was a first for me, so I'm having a good time.
You look like you might have been in for a second career out there.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Andy, when you see something like this, obviously you've been around Hamilton for quite a while now. The Ticats have always been a leading brand in this city. We've seen now the Bulldogs win a couple of OHL championships in the time that you've been here, and now the Hamilton Cardinals really developing a following. So I'd like to see other sports around this city develop the way that they have.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think when the new ownership came in, it really turned this franchise around, and you could see there's hundreds, if not 1,000 people here tonight, and the team's in the playoffs, and it's exciting, and there's lots going on for the kids, for the whole family. So definitely recommend, if you haven't been to a Cardinals game, come bring your family and check it out, because it's just a great time. Beautiful ballpark under the lights.
You're wearing the Ticats gray tonight, and that is a beautiful jersey. How's it feel to be back in uniform?
Yeah, it's always nice to put it on every once in a while. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe it's been 6 years for me now that I haven't played.
On.
So
yeah, 2017 was your last.
2017 was my last year, and but I'm still calling the games with the Cats,
Yep.
The Ticat Audio Network, and I'm really enjoying that. And the team's just about to turn around this year, and obviously the Grey Cup being in Hamilton this year is going to be great for the city and for all of the CFL and for all of Canada. So I'm really looking forward to that to November. But we got a ways to go before we get there. But that's going to be an extravaganza that you don't want to miss for sure.
Yeah, a lot of energy around the city about the Grey Cup being here. A lot of festival events that are going to happen throughout the city. As someone you've been to the Grey Cup, you've won a Grey Cup, you've experienced that festival on the playing side, a chance to be a part of the team that's putting it on. How exciting is that for you?
Yeah, well, I was here in 2021, and it was sort of like a quasi Grey Cup, and
everything wasn't back yet.
Yeah,
it didn't have that.
Back, so I'm glad that the CFL made it happen to let Hamilton showcase itself and have it here again. So I know Bob Young and Scott Mitchell and Matt Afnick and all the way down are really pumped for it. And there's they had an announcement on August 15th, and there's so much going on in the city and around the city, even all the way to Niagara Falls. And so it's gonna be fantastic, and it'll be that much better if the Ticats are in it.
Jacob Underwood, the man at bat, 1-1 count facing Juan Benitez, and it's been a lot of fun, Andy, because working with the Bulldogs the way that I do, I've worked a lot with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and specifically the outdoor showcase where the Ticats were incredible partners in putting that event on. To see the hard work that the Cats are willing to do from their front office, the folks that sell the tickets, the media team, the players get involved. We've done a lot of community events back and forth between the two sides. There's no question that this Grey Cup is going to be a success as Underwood tries to run out the strikeout, and he'll go down on the strikeout and be put out on the 2-3. But for the staff with the Ticats, do you feel, and the first half of the season didn't go the way they wanted, but do you feel the excitement starting to build?
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to the Cardinals, when Bob Young took over in the early 2000s, it totally changed the franchise around. And
yes.
There's nobody that deserves a Grey Cup ring more than him, in my opinion, and it's just been continuing to build, and being there in 2019 and 2021 and just coming up short leaves that salty taste, and so it really is a fantastic organization, top to bottom, and they care about the people they bring in, and that's players, coaches, front office, ticket, like everybody involved in the organization. I really am proud to be a part of that organization, and I look forward to continuing to do that.
You're doing a fantastic job, by the way, in the Ticats Audio Network. As someone that's been doing commentary for a while, I wanted to tell you from that prospect, you've transitioned seamlessly off the field.
That means a lot, man. It's like anything, the more reps you get, the better you do, and a lot of reflection and self-critiquing and practice.
As Lane Renault drills this one deep into right field, back to the wall, it's gone into the Hamilton night. Lane Renault, with one of the legends of the CFL watching on, just drilled it to open the scoring, and he's got the Cardinals fired up. 1-0 on the solo shot.
That was a moonshot right there.
That definitely was.
Andy, the Cardinals might ask you to stay up here to make this a permanent three-man booth.
Good. Yeah, I'm having a good time. Anytime you want.
I got to ask you a little bit here, Andy, and have some fun with you. I'm a Hamilton guy. I grew up 15-minute walk from Old Iverwin Stadium, now Tim Hortons Field. You were a Western guy. You're beloved in the east end of the city, and I know that because you were both, and I'm not ashamed to say it, you're my mom and dad's favorite player. Absolutely, without question.
Say hello for me, please.
They're watching on right now, and they're probably losing it. When you travel out to the western part of the city, out by Ron Joy Stadium, do you ever have to kind of look around and duck a little bit?
I definitely would have felt some of that in my early days, but no, I mean I've been embraced by this city and all the fans since day one when I got here, and I really can't say I've had a bad experience from that kind of fan perspective, which says a lot about the character of Tiger Town and all the Ticat fans and all the Hamiltonians in general. I've really enjoyed my time here in the city.
You went from being the star at Western that Mac fans and Hamiltonians went, man, that Fantus, to being the star for the Rough Riders, and Hamilton fans went, why can't we get a guy like Andy Fantus? And then when you arrived, everybody went crazy for it. I know you had a number of great seasons with the Ticats, a 1,000-yard season as well on a receiving core that was just loaded. What made Hamilton the right fit for you?
Well, it was my hometown team. I grew up in Chatham. My dad was a Ticat fan growing up, and I always like it just felt so right when the time came. When I really enjoyed my time in Saskatchewan, I thought I had a great thing going there, and I didn't expect to leave when I did, but just the way all the dominoes fell, it was an easy decision, and it was a different chapter of my life, and started setting up for like life after football, but I still had 6 more years, so it was a great transition from just different chapters of my career.
You played with, as Brendan Nicholson gets on with a single, and the Cardinals have something going here with 2 away. You played with some great quarterbacks in your time in the CFL. I've always wanted to ask you this question. Who was your favorite or amongst your favorites to have throwing you the ball as Nicholson sees the ball roll to the backstop and heads off for second base?
Yeah, that's a question I don't think I can answer, but because I've had a lot of good quarterbacks, and I mean the starters I've had. Kerry Joseph I won a Grey Cup with. Darian Durant was one of my best friends for years, and then you come over. Henry Burris became one of my best friends, and even though it was just a couple seasons, like Zach Caleros, Jeremiah Mazzoli, and then there were a bunch of other really good quarterbacks along the line as well. But so I can't really answer that. But all those guys right there, all have a special place in my heart.
I think that was actually a great answer. And some of those Hamilton teams, Henry Burris, Zach Caleros, fantastic. Jeremiah Mazzoli, we saw earlier on tonight Tyler Duncan make a diving catch out in right field, and I commented that a guy that size should not be able to move like that. Is Jeremiah Mazzoli as freaky of an athlete as he looks?
He's like a bulldog out there. He's elusive, but he's so strong and seems like he has a low center of gravity and can just run you over. He is a great athlete. But really, honestly, all those names I just mentioned are great athletes. They're all in their own right. They all can run. They all can lay the wood if they need to. They all can escape the pocket, and they all have arms. I was very blessed to have good quarterbacks.
Always felt like Kerry Joseph was one of the most underrated guys in the CFL.
Yeah, well, he's a guy. I mean, he played safety in the NFL before he came to play quarterback in the CFL.
Exactly.
And he did have that year in 2007 when we won the Cup. He won MVP of the league. So that was kind of his accolations to redeem, being underrated, I guess. But he was a great leader. He's much older than me at the time, and I just learned so much from him as a different kind of level of player than me. I was just kind of a wide-eyed rookie, and he was just calm, collected, and a great leader.
Neil, what have you got here for Andy Fantus?
You grew up in Chatham, Kent. Did you get a chance to play at Ferguson Jenkins Field at all growing up or no?
No, not really,
No?
honestly. I played a lot of high school sports, but I did not get there. But I did meet Fergie Jenkins, in the Hall of Fame last year.
Yep.
And he got his statue put up this year. So that was a special moment for me.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Andy, before we let you go, I know you've got a lot coming up. You're involved in a lot with the Ticats. We want to wish you the very best of luck. What's next for Andy Fantuz? What are you working on outside of the audio network?
Well, I've got a young family, first and foremost. I have my wife, Amanda. I have 2 daughters, 5-year-old Abigail, and my youngest is Scarlett. She's almost 2, so that's my most important priority. And I have a couple businesses. We live in Oakville, and I have a tutoring center, Scholars of Oakville Joshua Creek, and then I have an athletic training business in Burlington, athletics training system. So I work with a lot of athletes and do rehab, and actually Dennis. Number 16 was like, hey, I remember you. You helped me fix my arm a few years ago. And I was like, yeah, man, nice. I was so glad to see you here. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm having fun doing a lot of things I'm really passionate about, and being a dad. It's pretty cool.
As a new dad myself, I've got a 13-month-old and one due in the next few weeks. I can say it is
Congratulations.
a ton of fun being a dad. So, Andy, thank you so much for your time. This has been an absolute pleasure. I would say you're welcome up in our booth anytime.
Thanks, Reed and Neil. I really appreciate it, and I might take you up on that.
Please do. That is CFL legend Andy Fantuz, one of the best that you've ever seen do it out of the slot position. Andy, thanks and best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
From one legend to another, as we send things downstairs. Boy, we've got an all-star lineup tonight, as we were just joined by Andy Fantuz up here. Stefan Strecker is standing by downstairs at the Cardinals dugout. We got a chance to see Stefan's last regular season inning on home field last Sunday. Stefan, thanks so much for joining us downstairs.
Hey, thanks for having me. I think Andy's, though, is a bigger legend than I am, so let's just be clear about that. It's awesome that he's here and he was able to help celebrate great baseball in Hamilton and all he's done for the Tiger Cats as well.
He just said he is so excited about the development of the Cardinals, the new ownership that's taken over, what you've talked to us about so many times throughout the season, and the excitement around baseball again in the city of Hamilton. And Stefan, they're responding once more tonight. Big crowd here for Game 2.
It's great to see the kids out in the park and enjoying themselves, and also the crowd and the support, because it's been great this whole season, and it's awesome to be able to host a home game for the great fans of Hamilton, and we're hoping to pull one out here for them today as well.
Stefan, what was the message to the guys after last night's tough loss?
Pretty much, you know what, the message is it's one game, and you know what, we battled all the way through, and it was a hard-fought game, and you know what, you get to come back to home field today and keep up the same intensity and just keep up our level of play, and you know what, hopefully we get a win out here today.
Stefan, you're seeing Corbin Peters really look calm, cool, collected out on the hill. He's been at times working as your setup man or a co-closer. How are you enjoying seeing the start so far?
Yeah, you know what? He's just Mr. Everything. You know what? You can call him like a Swiss Army knife. He can do whatever you ask. You ask him to start, he'll start. You ask him to relieve. You ask him to close, he closes. He's got this even keel, and he's just got a calm, quiet approach. And you know what? He just loves the moment. And just like last year, he was dominant for us in the postseason. And again today, right now, he's just having another beautiful start for us.
As Odd just strikes out here, Peters does another number here on the second hitter in the lineup.
Thank you, Peter. Right on cue for me.
That couldn't have worked out any better.
Exactly.
As Stefan, you just saw in the bottom of the third inning, Lane Renault hit a moonshot and Andy Fantuz was up here to help us call it, that set the dugout on fire. When a guy like Lane Renault, who plays the game with the energy and the emotion that he does, goes out and does something like that, how fired up does that get the team?
Yeah, especially with the crowd here too. So that's the other motivation, is that you get the whole crowd rush going into it, and you get, Lane is one of the the old veteran guys on this team too, right? So it's great when he goes out and steps up and does something like that. And excuse me as I'm getting pelted by sunflower seeds by some of the guys behind me, so I'm gonna have to make sure I'm keeping my cool here as they keep going at me.
The comments from the peanut gallery are coming are now
exactly.
projectiles.
This is the way it goes, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's great to see when that's the nice thing about playoffs. Everyone can step up and everyone has a role and everyone has a chance to be the hero.
Stefan, thanks so much for the time. We'll let you go and get out of the rain of the sunflower seed shrapnel. Always appreciate your time, and best of luck throughout this playoff run.
Hey, thanks very much. Always love catching up with you guys, and all the best. Take care.
Thanks, Stefan.
Thanks so much, Stefan. One of the classiest people in the IBL.
Oh, no question it is. Of course, it was an absolute honor to call his final strikeout in the regular season in Kitchener a couple of games ago as well. So I lucked out and missed the home finale here, but I got the call the next game, and he was out in the mound against the Kitchener Panthers.
It didn't quite feel right, and Troy said the same thing after the game, that we wished it could have been a three-man booth on the Sunday when Stefan finished, and not only did he finish, with an exclamation point, a strikeout on home field. I was so happy, Neil, when I was watching along and listening to you do the game on Monday night to see that Stefan got a chance to come back out onto the hill. I was kind of sitting in my living room and giving you one of the, yes, he gets it, he gets it.
Nice. Yeah, it was really surreal. I got to work the game. He was down in London. He made his last appearance out of the Bat Park as well, and I got to announce his name because I was on the PA that night. And it was just kind of, I don't know, it just felt kind of weird. Like I had done it so many times over the years, but it was the first time in such a long time that I had done it. As Rodriguez grounds out 4-3, and there's 2 away here in the 4th inning.
Well, Lane Renault and well, we're going to need to keep Fantuz and Strecker on. So Fantuz comes up, Renault hits a bomb. Strecker comes on, Peters on cue with a strikeout to Odd, and then just after he's talking about the contributions of Lane Renault, makes a nice little play over at second to get the out at first.
It definitely helps. Definitely helps. Starling now Ryan Rios will bat with nobody aboard here. He flew it to right field his last time out. Duncan playing him almost at the CHCH sign again here in right field.
Looked like he flicked his wrists and hit it to the warning track. You've heard the phrase light tower power.
Yeah.
Ryan Rio could hit it from here to the CN Tower.
Or even the Skyline Tower. Is it still the Skyline Tower in Niagara Falls, or what's it called now?
Oh, it better be, or else I'm way behind. 0-2 the count.
I haven't taken the kids there in a while, so yeah, I'll have to remember where it is.
My wife's from Niagara region. She's going to kill me if I don't have this right.
Uh-oh. Hey, Google.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not at home. Can't do that for there.
As Peters delivers, and Rio is going to sky this one out of play, and it's 0-2 to the heavy hitter.
Corbin Peters would love to get the bats back in here after getting Rios out of this one.
Well, when you have momentum, it is key to work quick and try to get the bats back into your hands fast.
The longer the longer that Juan Benitez has to think about that last inning, he's going to definitely make it challenge here, and he's already abandoned the base path. Luis Bernardo will just flip the ball back. Rios goes down on strikes to end the 4th inning.
Corbin Peters is on a roll as he'll get the bats back into the hands of the Cardinals in the bottom of 4. That comes up next. You're watching Game 2 of this first-round series on Rogers TV in Barrie and Cable 14 in Hamilton. We get set for the bottom of the 4th inning. The Hamilton Cardinals holding a 1-0 lead on the Barrie Baycats. And this is why, Neil, with Andy Fantuz joining us. Lane Renault goes out of this area code.
That was almost knee-high there when he got underneath that one, got elevation underneath this, and drove it over the CHCH sign in right center.
Juan Benitez, who has been really good outside of that home run to Lane Renault. That was a big moment for the Cardinals.
Just their first 2 hits of the ball game coming in the 3rd inning off Benitez.
Both pitchers have been strong so far tonight. Both defenses have been really good.
They definitely have been.
They've made all the plays that they should, and each side has had at least 1 or 2 that were a little bit more difficult than that.
Exactly. You think it back at Duncan going flat out to dive after that one.
That's why I had to ask Andy Fantuz about that. I mean, how many times in his career do we see him make a catch like that? Or, as I mentioned to him, Jeremiah Masoli, and the kind of freakish athlete that you get a chance to play with. As Tyler Duncan, Rocky Mountain Thunder, will step his way into the batter's box.
Rocky Mountain Thunder is 0 for 1. He lined back to the pitcher on 1-3 putout to end the 1st inning. Jumped on the first fastball he saw from Benitez.
And I promised him I would say this in the playoffs, but he does have the best mustache in the IBL.
Bar none. Bar none. I don't know if it's got a name or not, but who knows?
I didn't go that far. It might. I'm not sure I want the answer.
No, it's probably something that's not suitable for air anyways.
As long as no one's referring to him as Ned Flanders, I think he's okay.
That's okay. We're all right. It's not quite Heideley Ho neighbor time.
Duncan flares this one into right. It carries, but it carries foul.
Guys on the bench definitely are talking what they're seeing from Benitez and their bats. Duncan was a lot more patient on that one.
0-2, though, the count after the long-distance foul. And Dylan Clement is the man who has to take the jog out to get it. Duncan fouls that one off of his foot.
It's a lonely walk back, that's for sure.
Dylan Clement, who we saw get the start last Friday night, and did he ever look good in the process?
He did look good. Really good, really settled in.
This Cardinals junior side has a lot of talent on the way. As Duncan, hot shot, and that'll skip through the glove of Adam Odd.
Not sure if he got the glove on or just missed it.
That had smoke coming off the back of it.
It definitely did, and he's aboard here regardless to start the Cardinals bottom of the 4th inning.
And that'll bring Luis Bernardo to the plate. That had some serious exit velo on it, Neil, as we'll see it here. That would have been a hard play for Adam Odd to make. That ball, it was diving as he was reaching down.
Nate Seeger gave it the base hit anyways. Duncan's aboard with the leadoff single. It looks like they're going to check on Odd here, too. He's waving the trainer off, though, and she's going to veer off to the left here and take the long way back through the
She might actually wait over there until the end of the inning just to be safe.
Yeah, I think so.
Odd took a second there, and I don't know if it was the ball hitting the glove or if he maybe caught his hand in the dirt when he tried to bring the glove down to get the ball.
Maybe.
As the ball skips by Maves, and Duncan will hustle up to second. And it's a runner in scoring position with nobody out for the Cardinals here in the bottom of 4.
Likely a wild pitch. That puts Duncan at second base. Now Luis Bernardo's got a runner in scoring position here, and an opportunity to move some Duncan a little closer here. Infield now definitely on the edge of the grass almost. That one misses inside. It's 2-0. Any message from mom and dad about their son in the interview?
Actually, a message from David Rempel, who caught a picture of Tanner Rempel as this ball up the middle off the glove of Benitez. Bernardo's going to beat it out over at first. It's runners on the corner with nobody away.
First and third, nobody away for Dennis DeBanning now.
So to follow that up, during the national anthem, this is a great note, and thank you, David Rempel, for this. During the national anthem, Tanner Rempel continues to rep the CMU Mavericks by using the Mavericks horns behind his back as a way to honor his friend and teammate Ryan Teixeira, who passed away from cancer. That is beautiful. I did not know that.
Neither did I.
About Tanner Rempel. So again, thank you, David, for that note. And it just goes further to my theory that Tanner Rempel is one of the best people in the IBL.
No question.
I think I need to throw in 17 strong and Rumble Mavs.
Yep, amen.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sending that in, David. That is really appreciated. Just when I thought it was impossible to like Tanner Rempel any more than I already did.
His stock's definitely rising, that's for sure.
Benitez delivers. It was back up the middle, and Benitez had a bit of a tour to check everybody.
Did the spinorama. Okay, you're not moving anywhere, and I'm not sure where I'm throwing it now. Okay, I'm throwing the first.
So Dennis DeBanning essentially gets the job done. He moves Luis Bernardo into scoring position. And here comes Tanner Rempel.
Tanner Rempel.
DeBanning retired 1-3. Bernardo up to second base. Duncan had to hold at third. Runners now at second and third with one away, and Tanner Rempel has an opportunity either hit a ball on the right side of the infield here. They'll give up the run, or get a sacrifice fly if he hits in the outfield. Or if he wants to really get adventurous here, put it in the grass somewhere and score two.
Benitez delivers. Rempel airs it over Benitez's head, and Rempel will bring home Tyler Duncan on the sacrifice. It's 2-0.
Royce Andros thought about going home, but then took the sure out at first base. Bernardo had to hold at second. The Cardinals now make it 2-0 and give Tanner Rempel the ground ball RBI on the 4-3 putout.
So a little bit of small ball from the Cardinals. DeBanning moved Bernardo up to second. Rempel brings Duncan around. 2 away with Jacob Underwood up. As that first pitch from Benitez on the outside part of the plate. Bit of an optical illusion on that hit, as when it went over Benitez's head, I thought it was getting out of the infield.
So did I, and then I thought, Royce Andro came up with it, and it was just, okay.
Yeah, he started charging on.
With it?
Yeah, he had the same problem Benitez did on the one before.
I think probably the bench was yelling at go one or something there. The catcher was probably yelling go one as well.
You know what, though? Nice work from the Baycats defense to not end up with an error in either one of those two spots where they're able to pick up outs. It would have been easy, especially for Ando, who was on the run, to sky that. He put it on the money to first base to at least assure the out.
Well, exactly. You have to, in those situations, you can almost have to concede the run anyways. Just make the sure out, because if you try to throw home, the throw could be off the line here, or something else could happen behind you.
Jacob Underwood working the count to 3-1. Underwood's been a bit of a revelation himself since stepping into a really full-time role in this lineup.
Of course, Guelph Royals fans, you say Jacob Underwood, he's up there with Aaron Boone as far as names not allowed to be said at Hastings Stadium.
Yikes. That ball along the ground. Underwood trying to beat that over to first. Oh, he made it, and yeah, okay.
That one's going to be a tough one, even with a video replay.
I wasn't sure about that as Underwood got there. Bernardo's over to third, and Lane Renault is up. Let's take another look. Ball hit on the ground. Underwood was moving, but close. Very, very close.
Umpires are listening for the sound of the ball going into the glove and watching where the runner's feet are. So maybe he didn't hear it.
I would not have wanted to be the one making that call. I will say that right up front.
Nor would I.
As Underwood chops this one on the ground, Bernardo will come home. Odd delivers over to first, and that will negate any further runs to the board as Jaco is on the bag for the putout. and that will end the bottom of the fourth inning. But Neil, the Cardinals pick up another run.
Another huge run in this situation. They're up 2-0 here, but they can't let off the gas pedal. We head to the fifth inning.
Top of the fifth coming up when we return to Barrie Baycats Stadium. You are watching Game 2 of this first round IBL playoff series on Friday Night Baseball on Rogers TV in Barrie, Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome back to Game 2 of this first round IBL series on Friday Night Baseball. Corbin Peters. He has taken the ball to open the game, and he has been outstanding. Neil, as we take a look at him fanning some of the Barrie Baycats.
5 strikeouts so far through 4 innings. So just to start, the Cardinals definitely needed after last night's tough loss, 9-8 to these Bearcats.
Essentially, Corbin Peters has gone out and said, "You need me to do what tonight? I got you."
Well, of course, I know George Halim's definitely running around the ballpark too, but that young man between the innings here, definitely might want to sign that guy too.
5 for 7 on the targets. And the first, he went 4 for 4 on the first ones.
And I think the pressure got a little too much for him, but after that he settled down and got the last one out there on the 7th throw.
That last one a little bit tough too, because he had to come not all the way through. He almost had to let it go out the side to get the upper right-handed thrower.
Royce Ando will lead things off here in the 5th inning, followed by Hayden Jaco and Carson Burns.
It is a 2-0 Cardinals lead. Neil, we're a long way from over.
We are definitely a long way from over, and I think that's what the Cardinals have got to remind themselves. Hey, we got to keep the bats going and stay sharp on defense.
Cardinals looking to pick up the win in Game 2 tonight. The win would guarantee that there would be a Game 4 in this ballpark Tuesday night.
I've already made plans to be here, so please, guys, let's get it done.
I was going to say, which, of course, we will have for you right back here, Rogers TV in Barrie and Cable 14 in Hamilton. As Peters delivers, and it's strike one.
Winter's long enough as it is. Doesn't need to be any longer. I like September baseball, just saying.
I'll be coming from an arena on Tuesday. As Ando, I can hear it's the most wonderful time in my head right now.
Yeah.
As the training camp getting going in the OHL and playoff baseball in the IBL.
Of course, Chris Lazar and Andrew Stoltz had that on their Inside the IBL podcast as well today. I was listening to that at work. They did their playoff predictions.
Tuesday will be a training camp day, and then Tuesday night, potentially Game 4 of this series, and we'll have the Bulldogs black and gold game on Wednesday.
Nice. Very nice.
So it's going to be a lot of fun in the next week.
So how are the new digs in Brantford?
Getting there.
Getting there?
Lots of construction, lots of moving parts, but it looks great.
That's good.
It's going to be loud, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll definitely make the trek down at some point this fall, I'm sure.
You just tell me when. There'll be a chair in the broadcast booth waiting for you.
Excellent.
Just hang around with Troy and I and have a whole bunch of fun.
I'll try to stay out of your way.
It's a big broadcast booth. I don't think it'll be a problem.
All right, good.
It's like a 10 by. It's like my office. It is my office essentially when I'm not calling the game.
Nice.
Makes it easy to keep an eye on practice. As Corbin Peters winds and delivers, Ando with the tap, and on that third strike, he'll be tossed out over to first. And again, Corbin Peters continues to get swings and misses.
K2-3 if you're scoring at home. Strikeout number 6 as Andrew goes down for the second time this ball game.
Yeah, I stand corrected. He swung over the ball. It bounced into Bernardo, and then the toss down to first.
Like you said, Bernardo should have been a goaltender in a previous life. He is a wall back there.
Yeah, that one could have easily been 5-hole, and he cut that off. And he would have deflected that shot into the corner.
Hayden Juggill down the batter. He's 0 for 1. He flew it to right field his last time up. As Tyler Duncan robbed him of that single in right center field.
Jaco ever dangerous. As Peters delivers, and that one runs inside 2-0. It's interesting where Jaco is hitting tonight in that 6th spot. It almost felt like hiding him for a little bit of pop later in the order.
It definitely seems like that, at least tonight anyways, as far as the bottom 4 in that order. Carson Burns has been struggling a little bit at the plate. Avery Tuck not seen a lot of action. And Kyle Maves is making a rare appearance behind the dish as well.
You think if Ryan Rio in the 4-hole clears out everything in front of him, as Jaco will draw the walk down to first base, you get a chance to have Ando on base in front of Jaco, and suddenly you've got danger again.
That you do.
I think it's really smart positioning of the lineup.
Carson Burns, who flew it to right field his last time up.
That one was not as dramatic as the Jaco catch, but still quality from Tyler Duncan. As one away here in the top of 5.
You definitely hear the young kids trying to encourage Corbin Peters here.
And Luis Bernardo is going to have a quick chat with his pitcher. Now, mentioned off the top, Neil, both these teams a little light on arms that'll be available in the bullpen. For the Cardinals last night, Lanigan threw 2 innings, Bott threw 1. And, of course, Colby Ring had the start.
Yep.
So as the outing continues on for Corbin Peters, the Cardinals really need him to get as deep into this ballgame as possible.
Definitely want to go 6, maybe 7. If you can push into 8, maybe we'll see here. But let's not put the cart before the horse here.
As Peters delivers. And Burns shoots this high into foul territory. Rempel underneath. And it's 2 away.
Huge out there. As Avery Tuck will now bat, he walked his last time up and got caught stealing 2-6 in the 3rd inning.
Tuck is just built long reach, tall. Just feels like there's no real way to pitch around him, because if you try to pitch outside, he can reach it.
Oh, exactly. You can just stick the bat out and get it done.
As Peters delivers, and, well, that's one way to do it. Worked the ball back inside and got Tuck swinging through it.
Yep. Tried to barrel that one up and mostly got handled.
Looked like a bit of a cut on that fastball from Peters. Started middle out and made its way back in. As you see the look from the back shoulder there of Peters, as he just missed that one to the inside. Peters working in his 5th inning as he'll deliver to Tuck on the 1-1. That one on the ground. Renault scoops, delivers over to first for Rempel, and he's through another. 5 innings pitched for Corbin Peters, and so far it has been the outing, Neil, that the Cardinals needed.
Definitely has been. Just the 1 hit so far for the Baycats. And only 3 base runners so far.
Cardinals with the bats back in their hands when we return on Rogers TV in Barrie, Cable 14 in Hamilton, to Game 2 of this first round series. Welcome back inside Barrie Arbor Stadium here on a beautiful Friday night for Game 2 of this first round series. As Neil, things will roll along for the Cardinals and the Baycats as I get my weekend days straight.
Yep.
It is Saturday afternoon for Game 3. That one back in Barrie when we'll hand the baton back over to the Rogers TV crew with a 4:05 start.
Patrick Melbourne and Chris Lazar making the appearance up in Barrie tomorrow afternoon.
Hey, that's going to be a lot of fun. Great to see Chris on the call up there. And then Tuesday night, if the Cardinals finish this one out tonight or pick up a win in the Saturday afternoon contest, we'll be back here on Tuesday night, 7:35 for Game 4.
Yes, indeed.
And that is what Neil and I are crossing our fingers and toes and everything else for.
Exactly. Of course, they got to get through this ball game tonight here. They're winning 2-0 here.
We don't want our season working together to be over just yet.
No, that would be a very abrupt ending here. That's for sure.
As Juan Benitez back on the hill to start the bottom of 5.
Benitez has given up 5 hits so far. The Baycats have just got the 1. And Brandon Daly will be the lead off here in the 5th inning. But before we hit the top of the order with Brandon Nicholson and Quinn Cotton due up after that.
5 hits given up for Benitez, but he's limited the damage.
Definitely has. Just the solo blast to Renault was the only extra base hit so far.
As Daly shoots this one into right field, falling quickly, and the junior's going to be on with the single.
Brendan Daly continues to impress here.
Now, of course, there was some confusion with the numbers last night, as Daly, who is wearing 41, which is usually the number for pitcher Logan Walters, who is unavailable due to injury.
Yep.
And online it showed that Logan Walters, the pitcher, was playing shortstop.
Yeah, we were both scratching our head going, wait a minute. And then I watched in the game on the and I'm like going, that doesn't make any sense. And I realized again at point streak afterwards, I'm like, okay, somebody didn't fix that last night. So I've been told it's been fixed now, though. So we're going to look at the stats later on tonight. Once after the server update, it should be fixed, and everybody else should be back there. And Brendan Daly will have his double from last night.
But that's not Logan Walters.
It was just like, it didn't look right either. I was going, Walt's back? How is that possible?
Yeah, and why is he playing shortstop? As the ball bounces past the glove of Maves, Daly up to second. He thought about third. And Maves came up with the ball, and Daly thought better of it, but it's a runner in scoring position with nobody out and a 2-0 count to Brendan Nicholson.
Now Brendan Nicholson has pretty much got the opportunity he wants here. He can push the ball. If he wants to square around, he can push the ball down the third base side if he wants to and leg one out, or he can push it to first and give himself up.
Well, potentially give himself up. He's got the speed to beat it out from anywhere. Benitez delivers, and that'll make it 2-1. Doesn't look like he's going for the bunt.
I don't think he is. I think he's just trying to touch green again here somewhere.
Of course, if we're playing banana ball, he would be ejected from the game if he tried to square around.
This is true.
As Maves delivers, and that one's going to bounce again. Daly will jog his way over to third, and he'll hold up there.
Now Brandon Nicholson can pretty much write his own ticket. Hits anything to the right side, they're going to have to go after him at first base here now. But he's also got a 3-1 count in his favor.
Oh, and again, Maves on the bounce. Had that one come up off the mask.
He's taking his lump stack there today.
Yeah, he has taken a bit of a beating. A bounce off the dirt and a foul that have caught him. And there is padding in that mask, but, folks, it does not feel good.
No, it doesn't. It still jostles you. Nicholson thought he was walking down at first, and Chris Walters with the late call makes it a 3-2 count.
Walters thought about it on the outside edge. Nicholson again facing the full count. And that one got him on the inside portion of the plate. And Nicholson goes down on strikes.
Not how Brandon Nicholson thought that at bat was going to go, that's for sure. And Quinn Cotton will bat now.
And I don't think he necessarily agreed. Not that that's anything new for a
No.
strikeout victim to disagree with an umpire.
No, but that one looked like it was more inside than anything.
Well, from a Baycats perspective, they might be thinking, well, that's a bit of revenge for the play around. As the ball hit to Odd. Daly will come home. Cotton's out at first, but the run scores.
Adam Odd just tried to make that play before he had the ball in the glove, but he quickly recovered and was able to throw to first to get Cotton out at first. When another run comes home, give Cotton the 5-3 putout and the RBI, and the Cardinals now lead this one 3-0.
Tyler Duncan will come up with 2 away and nobody on, but a 3-0 lead as a single in each of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th now for the Cardinals. Just going to mention before the play over to Odd at third, if you're the Baycats, you might be saying, okay, the Cardinals didn't necessarily like the strikeout to Nicholson. Now we're even for the Underwood play at first.
Yep.
As Duncan shoots this through the gap in the infield, and he's on with the single.
Tyler Duncan with a pair of hits in this contest to go with his run scored as well. Hit the ball pretty hard all night and all season long.
Stepping up to the plate, the catcher, number 14.
He got to bat leadoff in Monday night's contest against the Panthers, and he was playing second base. I was interested. I was texting Jonathan Salazzo during at bats during there just to give him the update, and he's laughing. That's so brutal. I just got intentionally walked. He got intentionally walked by a pitcher who needed to qualify, so he didn't even see a pitch at all.
Oh.
Pitcher came into the ball game, stepped on the mound. They motioned to the catcher to make the intentional walk sign. Salazzo goes down. The first pitcher leaves the ball game.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
No, it didn't. So that's how Salazzo's night was going.
Ah.
But he tipped his cap to Duncan and said it was a great battle. He says a great young hitter here in Hamilton.
Well, look at. We are privileged any way you slice it to be watching a great career for Jonathan Salazzo and the incredible beginnings of Tyler Duncan. And I just hope that with Salazzo, and it sounds like there will be a couple more runs of the two of them against one another for a crown.
I think they will be. And you know what? I almost want to get them in here for a home run competition, even if it's just for charity sometime next year.
That is a brilliant idea as Luis Bernardo fires this ball out into right field. Backing up for it is Avery Tuck. Neil, if I can help in any way, put that together. Please let me know.
We'll definitely put that in the notes for next year. We'll meet with Eric and say, hey, that's what we got to do, something like that.
I love that idea. As we will take another look. Luis Bernardo flaring this one to right, but underneath it was Tuck. That's 3 away, but the Cardinals get another one across. It's a 3-0 lead as we head to the top of 6. You're watching Game 2 on Rogers TV and Cable 14 in Hamilton. Game 2 here on Rogers TV in Barrie, Cable 14 in Hamilton. The Cardinals holding a 3-0 lead over the Baycats. And Corbin Peters, they're not even getting anybody loose behind him. Peters is weaving a gem through 5. Neil, if he can continue it on here tonight, he's going to be a hero for this Cardinals pitching staff.
Oh, no question he will be. If you look down at the Cardinals bullpen, there's nothing down there. There's just some equipment, and that's just it's casting cobwebs right now.
Yeah, there is nobody even sitting out there. Nobody's even thought about going out there. This is Corbin Peters' ball game right now.
It is.
Kyle Maves will be the man to lead off here in the top of 6.
9-1-2 due up in the order here, and hoping Corbin Peters can make 9-1-2 3 up, 3 down here.
This is the kind of performance that, after losing that thriller 9-8 last night, and again, the guys in Barrie did a brilliant job on Rogers TV covering that ball game. I was on the edge of my seat right to the finish.
I was watching in bed for like 8th and 9th inning. I'm going, okay, yeah, I'm going to turn it off. No, I can't turn it off. And then it was 9-8, and I was like, okay, I can't turn it off now.
No, can't do it.
I got sat up and went over to the couch for a bit, and it was like, okay, yeah.
As Peters delivers strike one to Maves. There is some action starting in the Baycats pen.
Just some light throwing, nothing serious.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Benitez is coming out anytime soon. And 3-0 lead for the Cardinals. Really no reason for Benitez, too. He's been quite good in his own right in this ballgame.
He definitely has been.
He's limited the damage every time.
Not sure who the Cardinals have thought about for tomorrow yet, but I'm pretty sure Jeffrey Nunez is going to get the start in Barrie.
Judging by the pitchers list available, there are a couple of surprises, and I was not aware that Nick Cardinal was not going to be available, as Maves shoots this one foul. Already knowing that Logan Walters was not going to be available.
Yep.
I mean, that's essentially the front end of your rotation. At one point, just a couple of weeks ago, Neil, we thought we were going to be looking at Cardinal Walters ring, and Peters was a set-up closer, as was said by Strecker. A Swiss Army knife. Was another strikeout here on Maves.
7 Ks in the ball game here through 6 innings. We're 5 1/3 anyways.
And now the Cardinals, who were kind of patchworking a rotation together, have Corbin Peters just unloading. Kenisi Ijo's going to step in.
I think you pretty much let him go as far as he's willing to go here. And get him some more runs to take the pressure off.
Yeah, it does feel like this ball game is entirely in Peters' hands. As Peters delivers, Ijo's going to try to bunt himself on. Peters has it and will throw it to first, and Rempel, that would have been miraculous. He tried an around-the-back tag, and safe over at first is Ijo on the bunt.
Have to watch the replay in a couple of seconds here, but definitely Peters just rushed to throw. Of course, he was knowing how fast Ijo was. I think the ball was going up in the air here, and definitely tried to tag him as he's going past, but it looked like he had made contact with the base here.
About the athleticism shown all the way around on this play. Ijo to leg out a bunt single, and Rempel to get airborne for that and still come up with a tag, even if it was just a split late.
Right call by the first base umpire. As Adam Audible back here with just the third base runner, fourth base runner for the Baycats, just a second hit in the contest.
And with Ijo over at first, the idea of a double play would not be an easy one. Renault, that ball bounced on him, and it rolled all the way out into shallow right. Ijo's going to skip his way over to third.
Not sure if Ijo interfered with the play there or just where it was.
Oh, that is a really bad bounce.
Then Ijo almost took a header into second base.
Yeah, Ijo got off balance just trying to get out of the way of that ball. It hit the very edge of the grass and just died. You talk about bad luck for Lane Renault.
Now Corbin Peters has got first and third and just one out here. Corners will be in. Middle of the infield, that double play depth there.
Adamot is given the single on that one on the weird hop as Rodriguez is going to drive one in. Odd's going to round second and then think a little bit further about it, but the Baycats get one on the board as the bunt single by Kenisi Ijo comes back to earn the Baycats a run.
It definitely does give Starling Rodriguez the RBI single. Runners now at first and second. It was just one away still.
Bunt single, bad bounce single, RBI single.
They got the bloop and the bleep. Now they just need a blast, and hopefully that blast is not coming in this at bat.
Well,
Brian Rios.
It's the guy that they'd be looking for to do it. As Peters delivers and Rio lifts this. Oh, what a catch!
They could have thrown for a triple play there.
Lane Renault brings that down.
I guess Rio gets the infield single? What's going on here?
Did that bounce on its... So Lane Renault goes up to get the ball, which intercepts Starlin Rodriguez at second. What did that hit on the way out?
I am not sure. Must have went off the plate or something.
I thought that was a double play. As Ando skies this into foul territory.
Rio reaches on the fielder's choice. Rodriguez is retired 4-6 on the putout.
Oh, Neil, great call. Off the plate from Rio, and that's why it took the shot high.
And Odd goes to third.
And Corbin Peters gets ahead of Ando, 0-2.
Peters just looking to get out of this one and minimize the damage.
Well, you talk about a wacky optical illusion. That looked like Renault had come up with the catch, but it was off home plate.
I don't even think Renault was sure if it went off the plate because that's why he was looking around. Like he almost wanted to throw to first base to try to get Rio as well.
And I'm not sure that Daly at short knew that that wasn't a catch either. As Peters delivers high, and that'll even the count 2-2. Odd is 90 feet away from really closing this game down. Ando has struck out in both of his at-bats. As Peters delivers, and Ando sends this foul way out into the Barrie bullpen.
Way out into the really cheap seats out there.
This feels like a big out here, Neil, the Cardinals need to get.
Peters needs to just find a way to get either a ground ball or strikeout here and get out of this inning.
Because with 2 away, the Baycats have a little something cooking. They've already got one across in this inning as Ando flares this one into right center. Duncan going back, and he's got it. They'll get the out that they needed to get out of it. But, Neil, the game gets a little bit tighter.
It definitely does. The Baycats are saying, hey, we're not quite done yet here. It's a 3-1 score as we head to the home half of the 6th inning.
Bottom of the 6th. All the scoring has been done in singles. 3rd, 4th, and 5th for the Cardinals. 6th for the Baycats. It's the bottom of 6 when we return to Game 2 on Rogers TV in Barrie and Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome back to Game 2, and that's the man that when that clock turns to the 9th inning, the Cardinals would love to be able to put the ball in the hands of Stefan Strecker. Very few have ever done it better. One of the top 100 players in 100 years of the IBL. And Neil, they'll feel very comfortable if they've got a lead headed down the stretch and they can give him the 9th inning.
Well, no question, they would definitely feel the ball's in good hands there, that's for sure, with Stefan Strecker on the hill.
Corbin Peters doing his job. He's surrendered just 1 run in 6 innings. You get a look there at Tanner Rempel standing on deck as Dennis DeBanning will step in.
Corbin Peters up to 84 pitches now, 52 strikes, 32 balls to this point. So now it's just a matter to see how far he can go now.
Juan Benitez has the long look in to open this at bat to DeBanning. And DeBanning laces one foul out the left field side.
The guys in the bullpen having to kill that one in a hurry down there.
DeBanning has not yet reached base. Although you always feel Dennis DeBanning, it's just a matter of time.
Once he figures out a pitcher, yes, definitely.
And he'll fall behind 0-2 here.
But he's making solid contact, so he's definitely got the timing down. Now he just has to be able to straighten it out somewhere. Get the barrel on it a little more.
Benitez with the look into Maves. And DeBanning swung over top of it. Maves didn't get a hold of it in time, and DeBanning's going to beat it out to first.
And he takes the ball down the line with him. Got to be a K2-3 and an E2. So KE2 puts him on first to start the 6th inning.
Well, not the way DeBanning wanted to get on base, but he'll take it.
Definitely will.
The throw just brought Jaco a little bit too far off the bag, and now Tanner Rempel will bat with 1 on and nobody out. As Benitez with the look into Rempel. And Rempel looks at strike 1. Rempel has an RBI in the ball game. Came in a spot where he sacrificed himself a bit in a 4-3 ground out to get that RBI. Now he's going to lift one into shallow left. DeBanning thought about rounding second, but Starlin Rodriguez, he charged hard, saw the ball dying out, and was still able to bat that down and keep it from getting in behind him.
And almost got DeBanning to bait that one on the sell job, too, because he made it look like it was behind him a little bit. As Rempel singles into left field. Runners at first and second now with nobody away to start this inning one. And Jacob Underwood coming to the bat after he singled his last time up.
Nice piece of hitting from the Cardinals resident Matthew Lillard impersonator. Did you get a chance to go back and watch Summer Catch?
I was going to, but then my kids were over. I was like, I can't watch today. I'll have to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tomorrow morning when I'm doing some other stuff around the house before the kids get there.
Actually put it on last weekend and had a pretty good chuckle.
Yep. Jessica Biel and, Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah. And Matthew Lillard. And Fez.
Yes. Yes. Matthew Lillard is the good-natured and hilarious catcher in that.
Yep.
And it really is kind of spooky.
It is.
Maybe for Game 4 we can get a side-by-side of Matthew Lillard in that movie and Tanner Rempel.
We'll make it so.
I mean, he's even a catcher for crying out loud. It's just, it's too perfect.
It's too perfect. His dad's probably laughing at us.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
He's probably hey, give him a couple minutes. He probably will tweet back at it with it, actually. So I would not be surprised.
We're either going to find out that Tanner loves that movie or that we should never reference it again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping he loves it. I'm hoping so.
Same here.
Then we can go with the Shaggy references and then the Scream references as well for Halloween.
Oh, there we go. An underrated actor is Matthew Lillard.
Yes. He also can play off some serious roles as well.
Which surprised me. As Benitez delivers, and that one will go for a ball.
If you're the Baycats here, you just got to get it out wherever you can here in case Underwood decides to square around here.
Nobody out. Runners on first and second. And Benitez looking for another sequence of signs here from Maves.
I think that conversation on the mound was just to go over the infield where they're going to be positioned here. Oz got to have to stay at third base to keep the banding at honest anyways, in case Benitez has to field the left side of the infield here.
Felt like Underwood had a second thought in his mind as he came around on that swing. Like he wanted to pull up at the very last second.
Kind of square it around like an excuse me bunt, but no.
Maybe that was the thought. As Benitez will deliver on the 1-2, the runner's going, and this one sent into left field. Rodriguez is going to be under it, and that'll force both DeBanning and Rempel back to their bases. Now the ball comes loose into the infield, and before it can be a fire drill, Maves comes out from the catching spot, and he'll hand the ball back to Benitez, one away.
Almost shades of the eighth inning last Friday night when that ball came screwing back through the infield.
Almost felt like we were watching a replay in live action.
Yeah.
Now Lane Renault, who got it all started for the Cards tonight.
I think I watched that play about 5 or 6 times. The last couple of days, actually. Once I clipped it out.
It was wacky. Oh, Benitez went for a hook that never hooked. One and 0 to Renault. He's got 2 on and 1 away. Daly, the impressive junior, behind him. And Renault on the ground. This one to short, and they'll get the runner Rempel at second, and that was tight.
That was very tight. Wasn't an automatic force there. I'm not sure. It wasn't an automatic force out, but it was anything but automatic on that play. Renault will reach on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, he smoked that over to where Burns was at short, which is why Burns had a hard time with it. That had all kinds of mustard on it. Burns did well to even get the 6-4.
Almost had to eat that baseball.
So now 2 away. Different spot here for the Baycats. Runners on the corners. How about this for Daly in a playoff spot? And that'll even the count at 1-1.
It's definitely how you rise your stock here in Hamilton lower, that's for sure.
Renault is the man at first on the right of your screen. DeBanning the man at third on your left. Daly squaring off with Benitez as the hitter. If Daly reaches, Nicholson's behind him. And Benitez delivered that one high, 2-1. Benitez maybe trying to get the youngster to chase a little bit.
I think he was here, and he's going to take a little extra time here to collect his slots.
Benitez has to look in.
84th pitch on the way.
And that one will run outside, and it's 3-1. I don't know that Nicholson is the man that you want to have to face if the bases are loaded. As Benitez on the 3-1. Daly chops it. It's over to short. Burns quick turn to second, and it'll be in time to get Renault. 2 quick squeeze plays over to second base will end the threat, and Neil again. Benitez gets into a little bit of trouble and gets himself out of trouble.
He got out of there by dodging a couple of bullets thanks to a couple of timely plays by the defense behind him.
1 hit, 2 runners.
And a lot of it the way of Carson Burns.
It is still 3-1 for your Cardinals.
So we will head to the top of the 7th inning. The Cardinals with a 3-1 lead over the Baycats. You're watching Game 2 of this first-round series on Rogers TV in Barrie, Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome back to Game 2 of this first-round IBL series. The Cardinals with a 3-1 lead in a tight ball game over the Barrie Baycats. And, Neil, one of the great things about the age of social media is it's not just you and I doing this broadcast. We have a full cast joining us from all over the place.
We definitely do. And, of course, Patrick Melbourne chimes in from the Barrie Baycats, says, Jeffrey Nunez is very, very likely the starter tomorrow. He's not want to tip his hand as far as his inside information or anything like that, but it sounds like that. And, of course, Dave Rempel, Tanner Rempel's dad, chimes in as well and says, well, I'm a movie producer. Who do you need me to talk to? I'll get you to my people to talk to your people. I didn't have people till a couple minutes ago. We got people now.
We have people.
We have people now. So that's how this works.
Our people involve Troy Islikar, and he's busy tonight.
Yeah,
so
he's kind of busy.
We'll get him to call you when we get a chance.
Yep.
And Patrick Melbourne, who's saying what a great Game 2 this has been. Patrick, get ready to go because we're handing the baton right back to you after the 9th tonight. Well, presumably after the 9th. Who knows how long we might be here.
Don't jinx us.
Well, they got to have time to rest before tomorrow. This is a compact schedule to open the series.
It is. Just be thankful we're not one of those 4 other teams or 6 other teams that have to play.
Ooh.
So it sounds like everybody's resuming their games from last night back when the team goes back to home the next time through. So Welland's playing Brantford to start, to end the tail end of Game 1. This one's popped up in the infield and going to go foul out of play.
Way back into the grandstand.
So Welland and Brantford are trying to resume that Game 1 tomorrow afternoon before Game 3. That's at the Pond in Welland. It sounds like 1 o'clock start Kitchener and London on Sunday, finishing off Game 1, then playing Game number 3. So I'm going to have a long afternoon of baseball in Kitchener. And Toronto and Guelph doing the same thing starting at 12 o'clock on Sunday afternoon at Christie Pitts and Dominico Field.
How do you manage this schedule?
I don't know. It's right now, it's kind of cut and dry. It's like we committed to doing Hamilton games first. I told the Kitchener guys that. It's just like, hey, they asked first, guys, so.
Like, have you slept since April?
Yes and no. Define sleep.
I've
closed my eyes.
Okay, all right, well.
I've closed my eyes, but there's been nights where I wake up at 4 o'clock and start going, okay, yeah, something's going on. I got work to do it for work or something, and I'll start my day. Poor Jenny some mornings, she just looks at me and goes, what time is it? You don't want to know.
That's what Celine asked me after every road trip. Would you sleep on the bus? Does closing my eyes count?
Yep.
As Jaco flares this into right field, Duncan gets underneath it, and that's one away. Yeah, this series got extremely lucky, Neil, in that they managed to get all of Game 1 in last night so that it's not half or 3/4 of a game last night, a game tonight, a game and a half or a game and a quarter tomorrow, and then Tuesday. It's a hard enough schedule already.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much 5 games in 7 days. That's how the league likes to push through here, and it gets intense fast.
I understand why. I'm not saying that I have a better solution or anything. It's just, it's tough. We've been through the same thing in the OHL where, especially in the first round, they want that in and out.
Yep.
As Peters delivers, and that in for strike 1 to Burns. 1-1 the count.
Peters at 91 pitches now, 56 strikes, 35 balls to this point. 6 1/3 innings in the whips.
Some long toss underway down in the Cardinals bullpen, but again, nothing overly serious from the look of things.
So guys trying to say if they can get loose at all.
That's Strecker, who's on the outside, starting to get a little loose as Burns will run this ball just past Renault at second base, who will carry on into shallow right to scoop it, and it's 1 on with 1 away for Avery Tuck.
Avery Tuck 0 for 1 in the contest. He walked and had caught stealing, grounded out 4-3.
Nice placement there by Carson Burns to run that inside of Renault at second.
The classic seeing eye single.
As Peters will look into Tuck. And that one low for ball one.
Even for umpires in this series as well, it's like the crew doesn't travel with everything else. We had Lafleur and Long and Kitchener last night, so it's a quick turnaround for those guys as well.
Yeah, for the umps, it's going to be 5 and 7 days. Is just
exactly. You're not
depending
sure
on
which
who's
part.
where. Yeah.
And it's just when it gets to elimination games, you go with the 4 umpires as well. So it's like, okay.
So it's going to get busy on their schedule as well. A lot of dance cards getting filled.
If somebody goes 2 up on the series, you're going to probably see 4 umpires for Sunday's ball games.
What a nab there by Bernardo as the ball ran inside from Peters. 3-0. Now to Tuck. And I'm sure they'll give Peters a chance to get it righted here in the 7th as he delivers a strike there. But if Tuck gets on with 1 away and a 2-run lead, got to think that's going to get a little bit more active in that Cardinals pen. And I think I see Alex Lanigan down there getting warm.
Lanigan just trying to do anything he can to help this team win.
As Tuck will shoot that foul, and just like that, the count is full.
I have to start nicknaming him Lights Out Lanigan. He's definitely been stellar since he's been called upon the last couple of weeks here for sure.
Well, could this be the plan? Peters through 7, give the ball to Lanigan in 8, and Strecker in 9.
That could be the plan here, depending on what's going on here, too. We might see how Peters feels after this inning, too. He might start the 8th. But he's got to get through the 7th here first.
Lanigan did pitch 2 innings last night. Peters delivers. Tuck swings. It's a strikeout over to second, and no! They almost had to strike him out, throw him out, as Burns took off, but slid into second just underneath the tag.
Looks like the hit and run was on there, and Avery Tuck was unable to make contact.
Daly was at second. Bernardo put it right to him.
That's a tough call.
Wow, that was tight. That was tight. Burns in there by just a touch. 2 away.
Kyle May is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. As you can hear the youngsters chanting for Corbin Peters to get another strikeout here.
That was a gorgeous frame by Luis Bernardo. Jason Varitek-esque as Maves sends this one out foul. 0-2 is charging hard was Nicholson, and that was flirting with the line. That got dangerous in a hurry.
It definitely did. That drops in. That's going to score at least the run anyways.
And Bernardo and Peters having a discussion, and they seem to have it the way up that they wanted it. Peters, and I'm not sure what he was saying to Maves, but they both had a smile on their face coming out of it.
They tipped his cap, so I guess it was all right. It was a nice pitch or something. Not sure what that was, but little gamemanship.
Yeah, neither one of them looked aggrieved. They both were smiling coming out, so.
Yeah, it was friendly.
Hard-fought series this is going to be, but there's a lot of respect, and you can see it on both sides. As Peters delivers, and Maves again shoots foul. Count stays 0-2.
Got to shout out Rick Matthews, who's Jarrett Matthews' dad. He's listening in the stands here. Jarrett says hello, by the way, from Ganawakwe.
Hey, all right, Jarrett. Hope he's up having fun.
Up doing some curling, I'm sure.
Another wonderful sport. I was on my high school curling team. We were horrible, but that wasn't the point.
That's one of those sports I've tried to understand, never quite got the concept of it.
I could teach it to you in 20 minutes.
Good to know.
Both my grandfathers were prolific curlers. My grandpa on my mom's side, into his early 90s, refused to use the stick. If he couldn't slide out of the hack, he said it wasn't curling. As Maves puts this on the ground. Renault scoops to Rempel, and the Cardinals are out of the inning.
Baycats stranded another runner here.
And Corbin Peters has gone through 7, giving up just the 1 run The bottom of 7 will be underway when we return to Game 2 of this first-round IBL series on Rogers TV in Barrie, on Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome back to Game 2 of this first-round IBL series. The Hamilton Cardinals holding a 3-1 lead, headed to the bottom of 7 over the Barrie Baycats. And let's take a look at how the playoff bracket, Neil, we alluded to it, is breaking down so far. Now, this is the only series that actually has that 1-0 lead in place for Barrie.
Yep.
The other ones are all placeholders for the teams that were ahead when the games were suspended, but none of those games were finished.
Exactly.
And none of them will be final until tomorrow.
Tomorrow and Sunday, actually, so yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
This is going to get confusing in a hurry.
Yeah. So Welland's right now beating Brantford, I believe. Last time I looked, it was 5-3 for the Jackfish. So
yes, it is.
5-3 for the Jackfish, and London's upsetting Kitchener Panthers right now, 2-1. I'm not sure what inning it is in here. I'm just going to click on it real
Bottom
fast.
of the 6th.
Bottom of the 6th, so yes.
You just can't count out the London Majors, can you?
No, you can't. And, of course, Owen Boone went out there last night, and he was throwing darts against the Kitchener Panthers.
So where it gets very interesting is if the London Majors were able to upset the Kitchener Panthers and the Hamilton Cardinals were able to upset the Barrie Baycats. I know, long way to go, but stay with me, folks. That would mean that in the second round, Hamilton would avoid a matchup with the Welland Jackfish and would get the winner of the Toronto Guelph series.
So what happens is they reseed everybody after this round. So what happens is that obviously if you finish 6th, Welland would get the lowest seed remaining.
Which would be London in that scenario.
Yeah, in that scenario, yeah.
So things are going to, it looks like Juan Benitez is getting a little attention from the trainer as he was starting his warm-up, and
something, I don't know if he slipped off the mound or just something popped.
It looked like something in the neck or up high in the shoulder.
He wants to stay in this ball game. You can tell. He's gonna.
Oh, no doubt.
He's gonna do everything in his power not to show any sign of anything hurting right now. That's how much of a competitor Juan Benitez is.
The Barrie Baycats came into the game tonight with 9 pitchers listed on their roster, as this may be where some of the issues started. It looked pretty normal, but he
might have
doubled
cramped
over.
up or something. Who knows?
It is a humid night.
Yep.
Just 9 pitchers on the Barrie roster. We know that one of them is going to have to start tomorrow.
Yep.
And after the pitchers used last night, how many they've actually got available tonight will be an interesting question.
Well, exactly. You're going to asking some guys that work on back-to-back nights for probably the first time in quite some time here.
As Brandon Nicholson is going to lay down the bunt to try to get on base, and he's going to do just that.
Benitez would have been wise just to kind of let that one go. Yeah, he's definitely got a cramp or something going on. He's hobbling off the mound here.
So Brendan Nicholson, seeing that something was not quite right with Juan Benitez, drops the bunt and gets himself on with Quinn Cotton up to bat.
Now Nicholson will be definitely in Benitez's rear view mirror, side view mirror here anyways, as he leads off first base now. Quinn Cotton will probably have to take a pitch or two here to let Nicholson extend that lead here. He's going first pitch, throw down.
And Nicholson is in safe to second.
Yeah, Benitez is not comfortable on that mound right now.
No, there may be some acceleration in that Barrie bullpen.
The umpire might just, or actually Josh Matlow might come out here and ask the umpire, he's hurt, and say, need to get an injury courtesy warm-up here. That's pretty much what they were checking on between the innings here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised. The pitch was a strike, and he's going to work ahead 0-2 on Cotton. Juan Benitez is a gamer.
He definitely is.
And through whatever is going on out there on the hill, he is trying to hold in.
He definitely is.
That is all guts as Benitez delivers the 0-2, gets Cotton swinging on it. Nicholson's going to take off to third, so Cotton strikes out, but in the end, he actually has allowed Brendan Nicholson to get over to third base with Tyler Duncan on the way up.
Quinn Cotton's retired K2-3 on the putout. Nicholson takes off to third on the throw.
So Brendan Nicholson doing Brendan Nicholson things.
And Tyler Duncan just got the intentional walk here.
Well,
Not even going to pitch to him.
That didn't take long.
No, Chris Walters just looked at Duncan and said, hey, put the bat down and take off the first here.
And Luis Bernardo will step in.
Tyler Duncan with the intentional base on balls. And Luis Bernardo, who's 1 for 3 in the contest with a single, will be the batter. He's hit the ball pretty hard all night.
And Duncan's going to be checked back at first, and Brendan Nicholson is. You think he wants to get across the plate or
He's
what?
smelling blood in the water right now.
Yeah.
He's salivating at third base. He's hoping he throws over again, and he's going to take off to home.
Benitez delivers. That one will skip off of his leg. Duncan's going to round second. Nicholson crosses home. It's 4-1, and runners on the corners with 1 out. And Juan Benitez is not in a good spot right now.
No, he's not. No, he's not. I think the trainer's going to talk him out of this one right now. I don't think there's any way he continues right now.
No, this is only going to get tougher if Benitez holds in. His guts, his heart to try to stay in this ball game are incredible, but
he took the ball, I'm guessing, above the knee. Might have been off the kneecap here.
Yeah, he does not look quite right here.
I think there's no shame in coming out of this ball game, and that's exactly what happened. Is Evan Souls is coming into the ball game to take over on the hill here. You can tell by the hair.
Fair enough. So Evan Souls will be the pitcher that comes in. Juan Benitez did not want to come out of this ball game, and he is getting quite a round of applause from the Hamilton fans, and rightly so. He showed all kinds of heart and determination to try to stay in this one.
He definitely did. He did everything in his power to keep the Baycats in as long as he has. As the Cardinals have just been chipping away a run here, a run there.
And go back to how this inning started. Brendan Nicholson saw the trouble that Benitez was having on the hill, laid down the bunt, stolen base, and the inside of the knee.
Yep.
Running differential plays a vital role in supporting the citywide
Yow. That is going to hurt.
5K walk or run on Sunday.
And that completely changed the direction of the baseball. Bernardo was able to skip in on the RBI single.
Of course, Evan Souls, no stranger to these Hamilton Cardinals. He's pitched 15 2/3 innings against the Cardinals this year. Has an 0-1 record, a 2.87 ERA. He's allowed 11 hits, has 14 strikeouts, allowed just the 1 home run, and only 4 walks.
If you want to taste the Agrimeister experience, you can for free.
Dennis DeBanning is going to be the first batter that Souls faces. And the Cardinals have that 3-run lead back in place. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Cardinals operate here with 1 away and Duncan at third. That extra run, Neil, that 4th run would be massive.
It'd be huge in this situation. The Baycats might maybe put in the back of their head, okay, we're going to give it this one. We're going to let them have this one and save our guns for tomorrow.
You have to wonder a little bit.
Looks like the bullpen is shut down there, Bernardo, for the Cardinals.
Other than Strecker.
It'll take Strecker a little longer to get loose, so, you know. He's just like me. But he's still playing baseball. I'm not. I'm calling baseball.
And still doing it at a level that just
Wow.
unbelievable.
I watched that last inning from him pitching here, I think 3 or 4 times just to see how it was and everything else. Because I felt bad for missing it. I just felt bad, but it's just unfortunately how the scheduling worked and everything else. That
just mowed his way through.
Yep. I committed to doing the Barrie Kitchener game like in April, so it was just like I couldn't exactly switch it. And of course, then Mark Perry was not going to be available, so it was going to be okay if I'm not there. The Barrie Baycats are going to broadcast the Kitchener Panther game. That didn't want to go. That didn't go over too well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As Dennis DeBanning will step in to face Sewells. Sewells not into the easiest spot with runners on the corners and just one away.
You got to remind yourself, the guy on the hill is very, very young still. Yeah, he's got some experience with the Baycats and everything, but he's still very young.
And in a big spot here in the playoffs, and that's ball 1 to DeBanning. Sewells, obviously, an incredible talent that the Baycats are going to hope to have for a long time to come. As DeBanning chops this one foul to even the count 1-1. But is this the moment for the Cardinals to jump out to a little bit of a bigger lead?
DeBanning can come through with a single. It's going to score 1 for sure and maybe put some more runners in maybe first to third in the situation here. If Bernardo's able to get around the bases.
Sewells delivers the 1-1, and that'll run it to 2-1.
Of course, the Cardinals at this point, just the one extra base hit, the home run by Lane Renaud. Everything else has been singles.
Yeah, it's been a lot of damage through the single for the Cardinals. Sewells has the look in. 3-1. Is that one maybe a little bit high? Sewells wanted it.
He's asking where it was now.
Yeah, that I don't know about that one. Now, granted, we are a bit away from the action, but it did look pretty good. As Sewells winds and delivers, and DeBanning, he hopped all over that, but ended up shooting it foul.
Got one he liked and took a good hack at it anyways. No fault in that one.
Full count.
Now with 2 strikes, you got to do everything to protect the plate.
Sewells has the long look in. The delivery. And DeBanning lifts this into right center field. Tracking over is Ijo. He has it, but that's going to score. Tyler Duncan on the sac fly. It's 5-1 for the Cards.
Dennis DeBanning comes with a huge sacrifice fly. It's now 5-1 Cardinals as Tyler Duncan trots in from third base. Luis Bernardo is still at first with now 2 away.
And his catching partner, Tanner Rempel, will be the man at the plate. As you get a look at Luis Bernardo and the hair over at first base, and he's having a laugh with Hayden Jaco.
Yep. Probably asked him, who does your hair?
Luis Bernardo has style.
He does.
As Sewells delivers, and that one runs inside on Rempel, 1-0.
I got to work on my Spanish before I can talk to Luis. I don't want to say something wrong.
Just in case, right?
Just in case. What I've been on the Google Translate, I've been translating a lot of stuff with the Instagram stuff for the benefit of the Japanese and the Spanish guys as well, just because I don't want them feeling left out.
No, that's fair. As Rempel guns that one into center field, but it'll die out to Kanisi Ijo. Neil again, the Cardinals get 2 across in the bottom of 7. And with the Baycats down to 6th outs, it's a 4-run Cardinals lead.
It's a huge counter at bat still coming up for the Baycats here. They're not quite out of the woods here if you're a Cardinals fan, but definitely breathing a little easier with that 4-run lead.
It's back to the top of the lineup. Ijo, Odd, Rodriguez when we return for the top of the 8th. You're watching Game 2 of this first-round series on Rogers TV in Barrie and Cable 14 in Hamilton. Back inside Bernie Arbor Stadium. It is a beautiful night for a playoff baseball game. Friday night baseball as Corbin Peters continues to go along here into the top of the 8th as he just skipped one on Luis Bernardo.
And then Bernardo throws the airmail out to second base.
You can tell they're having some fun tonight.
Yep.
Are the battery for the Cardinals. As Neil Corbin Peters has delivered for the Cardinals, but his job not done yet. Ijo Odd Rodriguez here in the top of 8.
Of course, he wants to get through this part of the order without having to deal with Rijo coming up with anybody on base. Does have a 4-run cushion to work with, but don't want to cash into that cushion at all.
No, don't want to test that if you're Corbin Peters and you can avoid it. As Ijo skies it foul, and that one's going to carry on and out of the stadium. As Stefan Strecker is staying loose in the Cardinals bullpen, there is a second pitcher down there. Lanigan was loosening. I can't tell if that's still him.
Can't tell, guys. Unfortunately, it's so dark down there, and they got the black uniforms on, so it doesn't make our life any easier either.
Peters delivers. That one runs high, ball 1.
Of course, that was interesting. Josh Matlow had mentioned when we were talking in the pregame. It's like, what's with everybody wearing the dark uniforms tonight? Second time in a row they will wear their dark ones. Here at home, he's hoping the Cardinals will wear their whites, but I don't think there's enough whites to go around right now.
There might not be. And the black jerseys have become a bit of a fixture on Friday nights.
They definitely have been.
Dark Knight and the Hammer. As Peters delivers that one high, 3-1 to Ijo.
Brown takes the mask off and says something to Peters.
Reminiscent, being a big Ohio State fan myself, of the Dark Knight in the Shoe jerseys that Ohio State has done with the red striping on the black jersey. That just looked downright sharp. As Peters delivers and gets it to a full count. And yes, I'm very much looking forward to this college football season with that receiving corps.
Definitely sounds like you are.
Marvin Harrison Jr. leading the crew. Emeka Egbuka, Julian Fleming. There's like 3 freshmen. Xavier Johnson still there. I'm hyped up.
Definitely are.
As Peters delivers and gets Ijo swinging, and Peters is pumped up right now.
9 Ks for Corbin Peters tonight.
Stepping up to the plate, third baseman, number 26.
And that was pitch number 100 in the night.
What a way to hit 100. All gas, no brakes for Peters. Battled back from 3-1 in the count to get the strikeout.
Has to deal with it. Ever dangerous Adam Odd.
You strike out Kenisi Ijo. Congratulations. Here's Adamant.
Who's Adam Knott? He only hit 390 this year. Only.
Jeez. Oh. And can play every position known to man.
Exactly.
As Peters will induce the pop-up. Daly underneath. 2 away.
Of course, Josh Matlow this offseason was having a huge conversation with Adam Odd, who I think he was thinking about hanging it up, but he convinced Odd to stick it around and said, hey, you're going to be a big part of whatever we're doing this year with the Baycats. And he definitely rewarded his manager's faith in him.
Did he ever?
With a great season.
As we get a look down in the bullpen, and I believe that is Strecker and Lanigan. So the question will be who's coming in the ninth. Well, I think we know who's coming in the ninth.
Yeah. But the other one's just there in case we need something. In case Bernardo and Corbin Peters don't get off the same page here.
Starlin Rodriguez started out with a strike on the outside edge.
Rodriguez, a pair of singles in the contest with an RBI. He's also grounded out 4-3.
Did he get him swinging? He did. 0-2. Peters looking to get out of the 8th, looking for his 10th strikeout of the ballgame. He'll wind and deliver the 0-2, and that one runs inside 1-2.
Looks like it just slipped out of his hand a little too far inside. Not where he wanted to, but not a good spot, not a bad spot to miss in this situation at 0-2.
How much do you think Peters wants this double digits?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's out there going anything he's got left in that tank, he's ready to hit the gas pedal with on this pitch.
And, whoa, Rodriguez had to defend himself on that one. Very defensive swing as Peters is reaching back for, as you said, Neil, anything that's left in the tank.
Yep. That's quite the defensive parry there on that one. It was this fencing. That was quite the deflection.
Here you see Corbin Peters threw 7 2/3, 9 strikeouts, and that one in low 2-2. Starlin Rodriguez, now this is my turn to battle back an account.
106 pitch from Peters.
Rodriguez, one of only 3 Baycats that hasn't struck out in the game tonight, and that's going to run the count full.
He's just trying to blast it past him here now and try to give him a different eye level here.
Rodriguez, Jaco, and Burns, by my count, are the only ones that do not have a strikeout against them.
You would be correct.
No, once in a while I have those moments. Full count to Starlin Rodriguez. Can Peters end the inning here? It'll be teed into center field. Quinn Cotton's underneath it. 8 innings for Corbin Peters as he stomps off to his teammates. What a performance.
Corbin Peters delivered the Hamilton Cardinals a little lifeline here, a little boost of mana as he goes through 8 innings here.
On a night when they needed it most, Corbin Peters puts on a gem. Cardinals bats in their hands for maybe the last time in Game 2 when we return on Rogers TV in Barrie and Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome back to Game 2 of this first round IBL series as we get to the bottom of the 8th. The Hamilton Cardinals holding a 5-1 lead over the Barrie Baycats. There's Emily Thompson, we referenced her earlier, singing along to Sweet Caroline. As a Red Sox fan, this makes me smile every time. And Neil, we are still in awe of a brilliant, underline brilliant performance from Corbin Peters.
Corbin Peters, 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, and just held the Barrie Baycats in check for those 8 innings.
And there is one man left warming up in the bullpen, and can Corbin Peters, who had essentially become the setup man for Stefan Strecker, go 8 innings to deliver him the ball?
Yep, that works sometimes.
How about that?
That was the Peters Express.
I don't remember Timlin ever going 8 innings to give the ball to Keith Folk, but
No. Wakefield, maybe, but
yeah, Wake did it a couple of times, I think. As Jacob Underwood will step in.
against Evan Souls, who took over for Juan Benitez. Of course, Benitez left with an injury.
By the way, as we hit the bottom of the 8th inning, a lot of those shots down at field level tonight, right in the batter's box, right around the pitcher's mound, it's not just anybody. That is our station manager, Jonathan Friedman,
Yes.
who is down there with a handheld camera getting some incredible action at field level. You want to talk about all in, he is all in. As Underwood skies one that Odd will be underneath for one away.
F5 goes that put out. 1 away here in the 8th inning, and Lane Renault, who
There he is.
There
That's
he
the
is.
legend himself, John O.
Get that man some Gatorade and some towels.
What a job he's doing tonight.
Well, it made it all official. We got badges tonight.
Yes.
I love it.
How many station managers are going to be out there doing what he's doing?
Not many. That's for sure.
He is fantastic.
But an absolute blast this summer.
Oh, this has been just awesome.
We look forward to Fridays. It's nice.
Yes. And the knock on wood luck that we've had with weather.
Amen.
We have not had a Friday night canceled on us. Well, I guess we can't now,
Nope.
unless we don't know what comes later in the playoffs. We're not even going to get into that yet.
No, let's not put that horse anywhere near the cart right now.
Saturday and Tuesday are all that matter just at the moment.
Yep.
As Souls delivers, and boy, that sweep on the breaking ball brings it back around to run the count to 1-2. The Baycats have to be excited about this young man.
They definitely are. He's shown sparks of it here. He pitched a brilliant ball game here on this very diamond against the Cardinals. He went 7 innings. Unfortunately, got the loss in that contest.
Can you let Emily know I texted her the player of the game?
He has the ball just dancing all over the strike zone, and he's able to speed it up there to get Renault swinging.
Brendan Daly will be the batter now. He's a single. He's got a fielder's choice, and he's flown out to right field.
The shortstop, number 31, Brendan Daly.
Brendan Daly will step in. The impressive junior. Cardinals have had a little bit of a revolving door in the middle of the infield at times throughout the season. Brendan Nicholson came in and settled things down at short. Luis Pimentel Guerrero, before he returned to college, it seemed like they had that middle infield set. And then to second base after Pimentel Guerrero leaves, Renault gets set up. Then injuries result in Nicholson moving back to left field. And
Yep.
Daly has come in and done a real nice job as he'll tap one that stays fair, and he'll leg out a single.
That one just took a high air time here, and it took forever to come back down, and Daly was able to leg out an infield single on that one.
Daly, who had a double in the game last night, has a pair of singles with a run scored in the game tonight.
Definitely fitting very nicely into this Cardinals lineup.
Brandon Nicholson, who in the bottom of 7, singled, stole 2 bases, and scored. Do they call that the Nicholson, or is that...
I'm not sure what that would be called.
Do we need to coin that?
We might have to coin it, yes.
As Souls delivers and Nicholson rips that through the infield. Daly will hold up at second.
Now that's the way you atone for going with a quad of strikeouts last night. You put up 3 hits here to balance yourself out and score a run and steal 2 bases.
Doing a little bit of everything tonight is Nicholson. Quinn Cotton, he'd like a little bit of that right now.
Maybe she go take that bat from Nicholson. Nicholson was using, swing that one. Seen guys do that before.
Is not quite the 4 strikeouts that Nicholson had last night, but Cotton has not been able to reach base safely, although he does have an RBI.
That one's outside. Pitch out, I think. Unintentionally there. As Daly was getting a little too far off the base path here.
Well, you know, Nicholson just wants Daly over to third so he can try to steal second.
Oh, exactly. Might even be a double steal attempt here.
Daly can certainly move. Souls delivers. And that one on the outside edge to even it at 1-1.
Daly looking over for a sign, not seeing one here. Maybe he's just, again, it's a junior. He might not know what the sign is either. Maybe there's not a steal sign. Maybe you're gone on your own takes here.
Or at least if you steal without getting the sign, you say, hey, I'm a junior.
Yep.
Souls delivers. Cotton reaches for it. Ball falling into shallow right, and that will be nabbed down by Avery Tuck as he puts an end to something that was cooking with 2 outs. But it will now bring us to the top of the 9th inning and a chance for the Cardinals to even this series when we return on Rogers TV in Barrie. Cable 14 in Hamilton. Welcome to Game 2 and the top of the 9th. And when Jackson Dean starts playing, it can only mean one man. The legend, Stefan Strecker, in to try to end Game 2 and even this series. And the reason that they have this opportunity, Neil, is because Corbin Peters weaved a gem.
He definitely did. He got 9 strikeouts through 8 innings and just gave the Hamilton Cardinals that little boost they needed here as they got the offense going. A run here, a run there on a bunch of singles. Only 1 extra base hit so far in the contest. The solo blast by Lane Renault.
One of the best to ever do it.
You know, it's such a welcome change to be on the other side of this when this happens, when Stefan Strecker comes out in the 9th inning of the playoff ball game. So many times, Stefan Strecker has broken my heart over the years when I was with the Guelph Royals or just a casual fan, because you go out there and when I was pitching for the Brantford Red Sox over the years, anytime that ball went in his hands, he was like, the back of your head going, oh man, this one's over.
Yeah, there's a reason why in that top 100 players list, Stefan Strecker was on it. There are very few that have been as dominant as he has in his career.
No question.
And he puts a bit of fear into opposing batters. And how about this for a matchup in the welcome to the ball game, Ryan Rio?
Yeah, well, Rio, no strangers to Strecker this year. We're still looking for that baseball that went somewhere over the right field and land into Unicorn Land. That was an inside joke between Rio, because, of course, when we were in the Cardinals were up in Barrie the night before.
He can hit it an absolute mile. And he will go swinging at the first offering from Strecker. Duncan comes on, and it's one away.
I think everybody in the ballpark can breathe a little easier now that Ryan Rios has been retired. I know I can.
He flicks his wrists and he sends the thing just
flying.
Yeah, that is scary power.
It is.
Royce Ando makes his way in.
I was going to give him heck for taking a night off to get engaged, but I don't think that's proper. He took off one Saturday night out of the lineup for the Baycats and got engaged to his longtime girlfriend. So congratulations to Ryan.
That's awesome. Way to go, Ryan.
Royce Ando now the batter. 0 for 3 in the contest, a pair of strikeouts and a fly ball out tonight to right field. And Strucker's in there with a strike to even the count at 1-1.
Strecker looks extremely comfortable on the hill tonight. I mean, a situation that he knows so well. Coming in at the end of a ball game, a big ball game, and he gets ahead 1-2.
Not a safe situation as the Cardinals are up by 4, but it's still nice to see Strecker out on the hill. He's kind of like Allstate. You're in good hands when Stephen Strecker's on the hill.
That's a great way to put it as he strikes out Royce Ando.
Ando strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. The Baycats down to their last out, and Hayden Jaco will come to the plate.
In his last season in the IBL, and he's going out in the playoffs, and he's already to 2 out in a chance to even a series with a group of young Cardinals following the way. And Jaco puts this on the ground. Jacob Underwood has it, trying to deliver to first to Rempel. He got it there. Strecker gives the point over to Underwood. This game is over. The Cardinals even the series 1-1.
And now we guarantee a Game 4 back here Tuesday night, 7:35 on Cable 14, and, of course, Rogers Cable up in the Barrie Baycat area.
The legend continues.
It does. And as well as the Hamilton Cardinals season for a couple more ball games anyways.
Well, this series feels like it's just getting going now.
It definitely does.
We go, Neil, from a best 3 of 5 down to a best 2 of 3.
Yep.
And this is just going to get more and more interesting as we go. If you're the Cardinals, the challenge becomes, if you want to win this series, you have to win one in Barrie.
You have to do that. And of course, you got to face Jeffrey Nunez tomorrow night, most likely in Barrie. Nunez and the Cardinals, no strangers, of course. That was Nunez who took the loss last year in Game 5 when he was a member of the Guelph Royals.
So a little bit of revenge being looked for Jeffrey Nunez. For the Cardinals, a win on Saturday would turn Tuesday night into a potential end of the series game, a clinching game.
Exactly.
And how big would that be for this young bunch of Cardinals to do? And looking on the out-of-town scoreboard, the London Majors continue. Oh, I stand corrected. Top of the 8th, the Kitchener Panthers have tied that game.
They've tied the ball game at 2 apiece there, of course, at Labatt Park. So Majors are not out of the woods yet, but who knows? The Majors, too, play a lot better at home than they do on the road this season. So
as we are going to be joined downstairs by a man who is rightfully pumped up tonight, Corbin Peters, who weaved an absolute gem, 8 innings strong, 9 strikeouts. Corbin, in a night where the Cardinals needed a big performance from a starting pitcher, you delivered it all and then some. What's the feeling like right now?
It feels pretty good right now. I'm sure I'm going to feel it in the morning, but I'm pretty excited and we're pretty amped up, but we still have more to do.
Corbin, 8 innings pitched, just 5 hits allowed. What was the approach out there?
Honestly, just command the zone. Fastball's in and just keep working. There's not really much more to do. They're a great hitting team.
They are a great hitting team. There's no question about that.
Corbin, we've seen you fill a bunch of different roles for the Cardinals this season. Starter, closer, setup man for Stephen Strecker at times. You go out there tonight and pitch 8 innings. Strecker earlier on the broadcast called you the team's Swiss Army knife. We can put him anywhere, and he's going to get the job done for us. How important is it for you to just go out there and do your thing?
Honestly, that's all you can do. Like every day, you just go out there and throw the ball, throw strikes. That's all it is.
So Corbin, now your team's back in this series is tied 1 apiece. Now, what's the mood going to be like heading to Barrie on that bus trip tomorrow afternoon?
I think the vibes are a little different. I know game 1 we had a little bit of the yips, but now I don't think we're scared at all.
Corbin, we saw you at the end of the 8th inning coming off the hill, really jazzed up, really fired up after a great performance. And yeah, absolutely enjoy it there. What was that feeling like when you got through the 8th inning and gave it back to your team with that 4-run lead?
It was a little bit of relief. Really, honestly, like I was kind of getting a little tired, but it's just like words can't even describe it. I was just so happy.
Corbin, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on a brilliant performance in Game 2. Best of luck the rest of the way in the series.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Corbin Peters, the standout tonight for the Hamilton Cardinals. Neil, he was absolutely brilliant, and it shows in that scoreboard. 8 innings. They only got 1 against him in the top of the 6th inning. Stefan Strecker comes on for the top of 9 to end it all off.
Of course, the Barrie Baycats held to 5 hits, just 2 walks as well, so not a lot of base runners for the Barrie Baycats. You're going home on a long bus ride back to Barrie tonight. You try to hit the reset switch and get ready for Game 3.
If you're the Cardinals, a young team with some great veteran leaders, as we see Stefan Strecker come up to Corbin Peters, and that's a great shot right there. How big do you think this win can be for the Cardinals in terms of building momentum?
Oh, exactly. You knew they let the one last night slip away. When the Baycats committed 6 errors and somehow still found a way to win that ball game. The long bus ride home, I guarantee, was a lot of soul searching and what could we have done better. Now tonight they go out and put a great performance on for 9 innings.
Neil, what do they have to do to get a win on the road?
They have to go out there and do the same thing they did tonight. Just go out there and, get the singles. Get the extra, the singles are going to do the job. You don't have to hit the long ball in Barrie. You just have to get the singles, hit the gaps, and just be smart about it.
And as is tradition for the Cardinals, right here, the players go out to the fans at the end of the game to sign autographs. Even after a big emotional lift in a playoff game, they want to get right in there. This is why baseball is on fire in the Hammer.
Well, no question it is. No question it is.
What a night tonight at Barrie Arbor Stadium. The Hamilton Cardinals even up this first-round IBL series. Now we'll pass the baton back to the great folks at Rogers TV in Barrie, and we'll wrap it up for the night. My broadcast partner, Neil Sriwastawa. I'm Reed Duffy. Our thanks to our incredible Cable 14 crew. Tomorrow, 4:05, Game 3, Game 4. Neil, you're going to be right back here.
I'm back here.
Don't miss it. 7:35, Tuesday night on Cable 14. You'll see it then. We'll talk to you then. Have a great weekend.